This is Dolynny TV. Glad to have you aboard tonight. Trying out the new streaming situation here on the channel. Glad to have you aboard. As always, thanks for being here this evening on Dolynny TV. Like I'm saying, yeah, brand new back end for YouTube here to learn how to live stream from. So that's fun and exciting. What we know is the Oilers are taking on the Winnipeg Jets tonight in a matchup in which, if the Oilers can extend what they've done so far, again in the last 3 games, life is going to be really grand on a Saturday night against those Winnipeg Jets, let me tell you. So that's what we're hoping for. That's what we're waiting for tonight, as the Oilers and Jets get underway. One anthem game, 8 o'clock. That'll speed things up. That's not a bad time at all. Friends, I guess to put into the comments section, let's get this going. Who wins tonight? We always try to get that going throughout the live stream. So let's maybe start a poll, Tice. Yeah, tough go, eh? Yeah, it's scramble to start. Just crushing some Battlefield here before getting the live stream going, and then all of a sudden, oops, I realized it was 7:45. So let's get it going here and get the Oilers and Jets started on Dolynny TV this evening. Glad, like I said, to have you guys aboard right now, as we'll see how everything turns out as the game goes on this evening. It's going to be a good time to obviously sit back for the second time this month, second time this week, live stream a hockey game, right? I think I haven't really had a chance to get much going in terms of live streams so far this year, whether it be because November was a very busy month, whether it be because obviously as well had a situation where just the Oilers weren't good enough to be live streaming because of just how brutal and terrible the whole situation would have been otherwise. So yeah, that's where we're at right now as we get towards, the pregame portion. Right now the Oilers are waiting the Leafs and the Habs to finish up here in overtime on Hockey Night in Canada. Be interesting to see how that all plays out here, as of course the Habs have been having a weird year, so have the Leafs, and it'll be a big 2 points for one of the two teams that takes this one home. So John Tavares in on the move there, trying to get towards the net, couldn't do it. But yeah, to get back to the Oilers and Jets tonight, I really have to say I'm thinking the Oilers, again, if they play the way they have the last 3 nights, right? Kraken, Wild, Kraken, you've scored 13 goals, allowed 5. There's a lot of damage there you can do if you're the Edmonton Oilers the rest of the way home in this one. And to close out the week, obviously December 9th looms large. That's a deadline. Pierre LeBrun said the Oilers are kind of going to be looking towards to make some moves, to make some decisions. So to see the Oilers kind of, approaching that 3 days away, and this is the final game, and well, until the Buffalo Sabres game on December 9th. Time's running out, I guess, is the point of that. And we'll see if the Oilers can finish off what's been a good stretch here of the last three games, and see if they can finish it off here come, what would that be, Tuesday against the Buffalo Sabres. But yeah, it's obviously been a wicked time to watch the Oilers actually show up the last few games. I know maybe the Minnesota game didn't go the way we want, but at least winning the next game against the Kraken kind of settles down the frustration, settles down the anger a little bit, and now we can kind of simmer into hopefully a win tonight against the Jets. And again, tonight would be another night where you want to keep riding hot offensively. I think we were talking about that prior to the game against the Seattle Kraken, and it was just simply, right, go out there and score goals and prevent goals. And the Oilers did that in the large part of the first period. They scored a ton of goals and then got the job done against the Kraken through 3 periods. So yeah, and I'm not going to complain too much about how that game went down for the Kraken and Oilers. Obviously for the Kraken, scoring that final goal with a few seconds left to go in the third period, that sucked. You would have loved to see Cal Pickard bring down that goals against average just ever so slightly. Unfortunately, he's hung out on that one and ends up losing the game, being a 3-goal game, and becomes a 4-goal game with point something seconds left in the game, it feels like. So yeah, that sucked. Hey, 9-4 though, we end up winning a hockey game, and like I said, 13 goals scored in the last 3, 5 goals scored again. So I'm all for putting off a goalie change, but in that time our goaltending's got to be standard practice, at least like 3 goals or less against per game, I think would be the standard goal right there. Sorry, I got the, the headphone hair going on there on the broadcast. My apology, friends. Yeah, what do we know for the Oilers? It's Stuart Skinner starting in net this evening. He's 9-8-3 this year, so he's above 500 getting points, which ain't bad. 290 goals against average. Eric Comrie, the starter for the Winnipeg Jets, 6-5-1, 282 and a 904. The Oilers with 3.21 goals for per game. Jets with only 3.04. Goals against per game, 2.89 for the Jets, 3.50 for the Oilers. So again tonight, just go out there and clamp down, bring down those goals against, give up 2, score 5, start really building that offensive juice that the Oilers have so desperately been missing of late, and then really just, keep building it up as the season goes on. And, that's kind of maybe where this turning point is, where we're at right now for this Oilers squad, and what we're possibly going to do the rest of this month, as we did last season as well. So Richard and Ty, welcome aboard. Glad to have you, and of course everybody else along for the ride here this evening. It's going to be a good night to be an Oilers fan, I hope. I think the Jets, as long as it's not a season opener, I think the Oilers have a pretty good game against the Jets every other time out. So hopefully, again, that continues tonight, and the Oilers go out to town and get the job done this evening against those Winnipeg Jets. It's really, a little bit more nerve-wracking going into this one than maybe the Seattle Kraken game. I think the Oilers did a lot of things right in the first Kraken game, and then it just carried over to the second game, and we just took advantage of them fully. Again, the Minnesota Wild kind of slowed our roll, and then we, like I said, took full advantage of the Kraken. Can we play that way against the Jets? Or the Jets kind of going to be the regular old Jets, and if we get into a track meet with them, it's going to be game over right quick, right? So be interesting to see how that plays out, especially in the first period. The Oilers are on home ice. You got the easy change. Go out there, just pound the Jets in the zone, score some goals, and that's the Oilers' problem. When they play well, they got to capitalize, or they seem to get frustrated. The goalie gets in their head a little bit, and things start working less and less for the Edmonton Oilers. So hopefully this evening, the Oilers just go out there, attack the net, push the net, and score a ton of goals. Stretch Eric Comrie out a little bit and get the job done early and often, kind of like they did against that Kraken team the other night. And then just win a game, like I'm saying, 5-2, 4-2, somewhere in there, and just go out there and enjoy a good Saturday night of hockey for the Edmonton Oilers and us fans. So that's at least the ideal. Does that happen? Does that work out? Who knows? Who's to say? As this Edmonton Oilers team still has a long way to go to regain the trust of everybody. It's even the diehards, I will tell you, that believe this team when they're 92 and nothing, 10 games below losing every single game of the season, can still win the Stanley Cup. Well, let me tell you, everybody's questioning this team to some degree this season, and it would be nice to just go out there and keep building that trust with this team, start building the offensive game, start bringing down the goaltending numbers a little bit, and start really getting the job done here. As the calendar flips to January, we got one more Mad Dash month, and then all of a sudden it's the Olympics, right? That's if the Olympics happen. I know there's some speculation around that today, or at least that's what I was seeing. So, for the Oilers, man, you gotta show up tonight. I think that's all it comes down to at the end of the day. So Kurt, you're saying if the Oilers don't take any penalties, the Oilers all the way, well, and I guess that's a good measure as well, right? If the Oilers can avoid taking penalties and not get into that track meet game with the Winnipeg Jets, that could very well work out in our favor. Now, again, for the Oilers tonight, if you can really go out there and score a couple power play goals on the other side of that too, that would really help out as well. So would be nice to see the special teams, as they were against the Kraken, doing a good job, showing up and getting the job done, because that was absolutely massive. And here's opportunity with 9 seconds. Suzuki down the wing trying to cut to the net. Nice defense by Austin Matthews, but it ain't going to matter. Oh man, what a block in front. And we will head to a shootout, as we so often do on a Saturday night between the Leafs and Habs. They take as much of their sweet time as they can to get to showing the game for the Edmonton Oilers. And of course, if you've ever been in the building when the Leafs and Habs decided to take extra time, kind of slows things up a little bit as we progress throughout the evening. So yeah, that's where we're at. The Oilers, Jets, one anthem hockey game tonight. You always love that on a Saturday night. That's always massive on a Saturday night, because it takes long enough to get to where we're going at the end of the day. So yeah, for the Oilers, just got to show up here and hopefully everything works out as the game goes on. My apologies, friends. Not sure why we're facing some internet issues tonight, but yeah, the Oilers got to get the job done against the Jets. That's all it really comes down to at the end of the day, and see how that plays out as the night goes on. That's really, I guess, the message and the theme. Like I said, the Jets not scoring as many goals as the Oilers, right? 3.04 to 3.21 is not much of a difference, but it's enough. And the Oilers, if they can avoid the goals against, are going to be really well off. And obviously the Oilers power play, 32.4% against the Jets, 21.5. So keep the Jets from scoring on the power play, and you score on the power play. This game could very well work out pretty dang well for the Edmonton Oilers against the Winnipeg Jets this evening. So I don't know what else there is to really cover here at this point. I think for the Oilers, you'd love to see Connor McDavid keep shooting the puck. I think that's a whole nother thing we could discuss, is Connor McDavid shot the puck against the Kraken, scored a hat-trick, had an assist, dummied ourselves a 4-point night for the captain, and obviously if he can keep doing that, that's going to pay dividends all season long. He's a former 60-goal scorer, and I think he can do it again here if he decides to keep scoring. So we'll see how that shakes out here for the Oilers, as there's really not much else to cover, I don't think. We just got to watch this Leafs-Habs shootout and see what happens, and then get right into the hockey game on a Saturday night, in which the Oilers and Jets get to play a pretty pivotal game, I think. I think it's a massive undertaking for the Oilers to get this 2 points tonight, and if they do, it's going to be a massive reward in terms of those 2 points, because you show up with those 2 points tomorrow morning, and all of a sudden life gets a heck of a ton easier when it comes down to it for climbing up those standings. 3 out of 4 is going to be massive. As what a save there by Dolynny on the pad. So Nylander moved towards the net, and Nylander's beard's coming in pretty fierce now too. But just couldn't tuck it around the toe of Dobish. But yeah, I mean, I really don't know how else to put it. This one a little bit more nerve-wracking maybe than the Kraken game the other night. And I think as well for the Oilers a little bit more important than that Kraken game, despite the result in the Kraken game ultimately being as massive as it can possibly get in the score column. So we'll see how it shakes out. I mean, the Canadians just scored a goal here. Is just a roof job on Hill to be there by Caulfield, of course. And now we'll see what Matthews can do for the Toronto Maple Leafs. See if he can get on net and score. We've slid it right through the 5-hole on a sliding Dobish. Not bad at all. Not bad at all. And yeah, so I don't know. I feel like we've pretty much covered it all. That's the problem with this game going a little bit later. I mean, for right now, 14 votes in the chat, guys. 79% of you going for the Oilers. I at least assume that's the case. I think some people might be voting for the Jets just simply because Skinner's in net for the Oilers tonight, and I get the sentiment, but I think you've watched what Skinner's done the last 2 games. Again, if the Oilers goaltending can just start winning hockey games and straightening out the goals against average and save percentage a little bit, fans will be relieved somewhat for him. As Texier, oh my goodness, what a move on Hill to be right there. Absolutely unreal for Texier. He comes in and just does the little one-handed poke through the pads right there. Beautiful move. Everybody loves seeing that one. That's the height of the shootout there when it comes to the NHL. Is Tavares going to try and keep this thing going for the Leafs, or mercifully we might move on to the Oilers and Jets, and that we will, as Tavares stopped by Dobish, and there we go. Let's move on, friends. Let's see what happens here as breaking. Brad, welcome aboard. As yeah, I think the Oilers need to build on that last win. I think the Oilers need to build off of the last 3 games, to be honest with you. It's been a really good stretch for the Oilers the last 3 after a really bad stretch the 3 before, and now just keep getting goaltending, keep getting offense. The defense will figure itself out when the confidence in the rest of the game's going, and then all of a sudden, if the Oilers really start turning it towards January with a good record, my goodness, we could be all right, that's for sure. So yeah, that's where we're at. And Duolingo, you're asking there if I've done commentary for a team. I have. You can go back on the channel. There's the Cold Lake Ice versus St. Paul Canadiens 2018 playlist that you can go watch. 3 games that I was commentating for. There's more games to that, but I think game 5, 6, and 7 are the most interesting of the bunch. So that's kind of where we're at. But yes, there is a little bit of commentary history here on the channel. So the Oilers mercifully get to start their game hopefully on time now. This one ended 8:01, so we should have just regular studio time, and then we'll be good to go for Oilers and Jets around 8:15 puck drop, friends. So I know we started at 7:45, but that's kind of the nature of the beast right now when you have to start on a hockey night in Canada type evening. Is, you know, they like to take their time to get the job done around here, so that's okay. We'll find a way to get the job done here tonight, as even if it takes a little bit longer to get to as we're rolling along on the pregame. And obviously as well as for those of you tuning back in after probably a long while away from live streams, that's my fault, not your fault. It's nice to be done the month of November. November was an absolute disaster class, I must say, in terms of how busy things were at work. We were having a crazy month, and on top of that, a crazy month of inventory. So to be busy twice over, and obviously December started just the same, to be honest with you. So hopefully December starts slowing down at some point and we get going in the right direction. But it's nice to be busy this time of year, just obviously just because guys are on holidays, and at least, you know, everybody doesn't have to be on holidays, which is nice. So we'll see how Christmas shakes out, but obviously as well, the live streams are coming back in preparation for the 2026 World Juniors here on Dolynny TV. I don't know what you guys know about it, but this is a big show, the World Juniors here on the channel every year. The record-setting live stream on Dolynny TV, just a little back-end numbers fun for you, is of course a World Juniors live stream from last year, Canada versus Czechia. It was an absolute unreal time. I think it mathed out to something like 315 people tuning in per minute throughout the live stream, so that's absolutely insane to think. But yeah, we'll see how the World Juniors go this year, because again, every single year it seems like Canada is a hit or miss the last few years. So if this is a hit year, we could have a lot of fun watching the World Juniors. We could have a lot to talk about when it comes to Team Canada, and obviously as well, Gavin McKenna in full flight. There's some other prospects there that are going to be really fun to watch. Team USA's got Asher Barnett, so the Oilers representation is there, and we'll see if Canada can come away with a World Juniors title, World Juniors gold or not, and be nice to see them do it after a few years, as they've really struggled the last little bit. And if they can dummy a victory, and I think the World Juniors schedule that I have is pretty good at work as well. The end of December, start of January, as I was talking about work there just a minute ago. So looking forward to hopefully crushing off a whole bunch of live streams, you know, covering all the Canada games, covering one other game for at least a period or two every day, and just trying to really trying to broaden the audience a little bit here as we get towards what will be the Olympics as well, and having to cover that a little bit. So the Oilers, though, in the meantime, have some business to attend to. They have some work to do, and we'll see if they can get it done tonight against the Winnipeg Jets, who, again, if the Oilers can find a way to win this one with convincing fashion, it's going to go a long way, like I said, to getting people back to kind of that trusting situation with the Oilers. I would say a lot of folks probably aren't going to trust Skinner ever again, but I will tell you, there is something to be said for, if you're winning, you can at least lay off the guy a little bit and start giving him a little bit of his dues somewhat of the way, and hopefully getting our job going for us. So Paul Bissonnette on the Hockey Night in Canada panel tonight for Sportsnet, alongside Ron McLean, Kevin BX, and all them, as we keep getting closer and closer to puck drop between the Oilers and the Winnipeg Jets here tonight. So let me just quickly check again the stats. 66,000 views on that Canada versus Czechia quarterfinals game is the numbers you need to know. So we'll see what the Oilers can do against the Jets tonight. I think, like I said, big effort needed. 5 goals. Would be really happy with 5 goals. I'd be really lit up with 5 goals, actually. That would be fantastic if the Oilers could find a way to score 5 goals again tonight. Again, if you go through a stretch of 4 games to score 18 goals, and the Oilers do end up losing that one against the Wild, because again, the Wallstedt thing, but also the fact that you were that close to running the table in 4 games with the goal scoring against that you've had. So you know what? Let's go get the job done tonight and just maybe not worry about it so much. We should be ready to go for what should be a really good hockey game against the Jets here tonight. So I don't know what else is there to add. I think for those of you tuning in, it's Skinner versus Comrie. Comrie's at a 282 and save percentage of 904. So if it works out for the Oilers tonight, he'll be a little bit below 900 and a little bit closer to 3.0 goals against average here this season. Obviously, he's in place of the injured Connor Hellebuck, who's going to be out a little bit. So for the Oilers, still trying to continue the hot streak while also facing a goaltender that, maybe not the sharp ace that the other team has in the roster. So keep it going and take advantage. Same hand in hand, and if they do that, we'll be just fine this evening, one would say. So we'll see how it goes on a hockey night in Canada type night for the Oilers here. Is we should be about 8 minutes away from puck drop at Rogers Place. That's the big thing. The Oilers are at home for this one as well, so that's nice to see. And then, let's go get this job done. Again, to the poll here, friends. I'm seeing 25 votes, 88% of you voting for the Oilers to win this one. Only 12% now for the Jets. So you'll have to see that. 780's in the chat. We were rolling up the battlefield earlier there a moment ago, and I was doing not too bad. I was finally figuring out how to use the shotgun in close range and succession. So having success, and also playing the bot lobbies helps, trying to train yourself a little bit there. So definitely enjoying what's getting back to a little bit of winter here. I think there's a lot of snow on the ground. Snowed about 3 to 6 inches depending where you are in southern Alberta last night. Icy roads. Hit the ditch myself this evening getting home, just outside of the place, and thankfully one of the guys down the road was able to rescue me out with some bear tracks out of the back of his garage there. So good to go, and you don't mind seeing that. And of course, C780, we come back and win that game. I dip out. We're doing all right there, but not good enough. And then I dip out and we end up winning. That's the way it'll go. So hopefully get back on the battlefield tonight, have a little bit of a late night, sleep in a little bit tomorrow, and do it all again Monday at work. Because we got a whole bunch of progress. Like I was saying, it's been busy at work, but we've also made some progress in terms of warehousing improvements. So now hopefully the boys get out there, get going, and get the job done for us in the field, and we're good to go towards the Christmas holidays. Nice and light after next week. That would be absolutely fantastic. I think as well, I want to make a mention, friends, if you're in the stream last week out, it was last time out, it was absolutely fantastic to have you aboard. First live stream of the regular season, and my goodness, was it a success. So it was awesome. I just really would love to see that continue here tonight, and I think the Oilers winning would have a large part in that, that's for sure. So that's why we're hoping for an offensive outburst, a little bit of a light up the weaker goaltender for the Jets, and as well a big effort from Stuart Skinner as the Oilers try to take things home. So if you haven't already left a like on the stream, friends, make sure to do that here tonight. I don't even know how to check all that anymore. So they've changed the whole setup on me, so I can't even see likes and live viewers and all that. That's weird to see, but let's see if I can see this right now. Actually, I can see it right here. Okay, that's cool. So that's how they show me now. So 9 of you have hit the like button, friends. We can push that to 10. So going to run Chell until everyone's back on. So there we go. Let's get it going. So we're going to jump right in the Oilers game, friends. No running around. 8-10 puck drop. They did not push things back for the Habs and Leafs as the face-off is lost by the Edmonton Oilers. The Jets back in their own zone. Sandberg across to the far side, and the Jets will move up into the neutral zone. There we go. We're off and running. Oilers battling there. Mangiapane, Nurse working the puck forward, and Regula able to chip it to Mangiapane to get it into the Jets' territory. Jets over to the far side right in front of their own bench, attacking east to west here as Taves is slowed up. Regula retrieves the puck for the Oilers. Round near side, Mangiapane is going to try and steal the wall. Sandberg instead squeaks between him and the puck and gets it going back in favor of the Jets. They're pitching D to D. The shot towards the net goes wide as the Jets suddenly start up the cycle here. Sandberg labels the shot on net, goes wide as the Jets continue to pass the puck around rather efficiently inside the Oilers zone behind the net. Regula's been trapped out there to start the game. The shot directed on net. Skinner just rebounds it right onto the taper Regula, who leaves it there for Nurse. The Oilers in the cream jerseys once again tonight as this will be picked up by Henrique, fired ahead. Mangiapane across center was able to get it there, so it won't be an icing call. Picked up by Morrissey. Oilers get the change and the Jets get going. Hyman picks up the puck on a discombobbled pass to DeMello, and oh my goodness, McDavid thought he had Nugent Hopkins backdoor on the slap pass tip shot, and it didn't work out as McDavid drives to the net. Nice save there by Comrie. Jets roll up the puck along the far side wall. The Oilers now applying the pressure to try and keep the Jets inside their own territory here. Jets will fire it down length of the ice, right past Skinner. It'll be an icing call. And the Oilers' top line responds to the Jets getting going early and gets the attack on. 18:29 to go in the first period of play. We've played a minute and a half, and we have a shot per side. Friends, Vincent and Oakley, welcome aboard as we get things rolling for what should be a very good game against the Jets here tonight. Obviously, the Oilers looking to get the job done and keep the wins coming. As, you know, that would be 3 out of 4 if they can win this one tonight, and suddenly they got something cooking as they'll take the face off here inside the offensive zone. Draisaitl loses it back. Jets wheel it around out of the zone, right up to a waiting tape. I have no clue who's even on the Jets nowadays, to be honest with you. Back behind the net, Jets from the sharp angle. Saved by Skinner, kicks it out with that new look old school pad. And this one's going to be coming to the blue line again. The Jets will just drift it down in the corner. The Oilers back to the blue line. Can't get it going, and now it escapes to the neutral zone where the Jets will tip it back into the Oilers' territory. Near side corner. Hard hit on Ekholm. He's still able to clear the puck to the blue line, but a terrible giveaway by the Oilers at the blue line will cost them another regroup inside their own zone. A play to the middle of the ice there by Savoy over to Podkolzin on the clear by Draisaitl. Podkolzin trying to get it back to Draisaitl. Can't do it as be flipped by the Jets around to the far side, picked up and exited the zone on a good reach of the stick there by, I think, Vladimir Meshnikov of the Winnipeg Jets. Stuart Skinner on the dump out to play it. It eludes a Jets player at the blue line, and here come the Oilers rushing back the other way. McDavid in on the attack. Shot from Emerson in his 100th game as an Edmonton Oilers player. Goes wide over top of the net, and Hyman tries to backhand it down low to McDavid. Successfully through. McDavid stops and starts. Looking for a pass towards the net. Emerson was sneaking back door and almost had the tippy tap. Nice broken up play by Nemesnikov, who's been there twice on this shift so far. Oilers back, near side pass to Hyman. Across the zone now, here's McDavid. Stops, start, shot, rebound, scores! Nugent Hopkins gives us the 1-0 lead. And that means I got to get us a little bit of a scoreboard here. I forgot what I was doing as I got the pregame report going here live on stream. And then the Oilers, you know, got going a little bit sooner than I suspected. And here we have it. The Oilers are up 1-0 as Connor McDavid gets the zone entry from Zach Hyman and does not make a mistake there. Fires it off the pads of Comrie right on to Nugent Hopkins' tape. And it's a goal for the Oilers and another point for Nugent Hopkins, who he's missed some time. But I'll tell you, he might still get 80-plus points for the Oilers this season. Wearing the A, that thing's got the A on the wall as well. And Nugent Hopkins' back-to-back games since we put the Nuge jersey on the wall has been absolutely electric for these Edmonton Oilers. 7th goal this season by Nugent Hopkins. Unreal presence for this Oilers team this season. Now the puck to the near side, lifted in by the Jets. Stopped there at the blue line, dead by Regula, recovered by Morrissey. And the Jets make a few passes to get across the line. The pass to the outside, Taves can't corral the pass from Perfetti back over to Perfetti now, back to the blue line. Jets roll the shot in from the point. Taves blocks shot, and here comes Lazar as this one will go down off the wall. Lazar's taken down in the fray. Tomaszek coming in to seal the wall. Couldn't do it with the stick nor the body. Pass gets over to Morrissey, and the Jets exit the zone as it'll be flipped in, and the Jets will begin somewhat of a line change here. Lowry across the line takes down Lazar, just bowled right over him as he kept coming down the wall, and the Oilers will have to be content to flip it down into Jets territory. 22 points in 20 games this season for Nugent Hopkins. Like I said, he's going to hit 80 no problem this year. Should have hit 100 if he was healthy for all 82. Jets at the far side blue line in front of the Oilers bench. Stolen away by Matt Savoy across the line. Podkolzin loses the handle. He's going to try to get it to the blue line. Can't do it. Here's Draisaitl now. Just dishing off to the far side blue line for Ekholm. Now across over to Podkolzin again. He loses the handle right in the same spot he did a moment ago. And this one's going to be coming back up the ice here for the Oilers across the line. Velarde over to the far side. The shot, the save by squeaks through. But the Oilers are able to clear in another shot here. blocked in front by the Oilers. And how about this? A breakaway for Leon Draisaitl in on net. Backhand! Draisaitl scores! The Oilers take the 2-0 advantage right here. As what a night here so far for the Edmonton Oilers as Draisaitl again. And a follow-up leads to a goal. Just a great little, presence of mind to be hanging out where he was. The Oilers have had a little bit of activation from the forwards here in the last few games, and another big goal there for the Oilers on the breakaway style. Matt Savoy last game, 2 of them, and Draisaitl the backhand just barely inside the cage. And what a pass there from Bouchard, splitting 3 players, including 1 Oilers, right onto the tape of Draisaitl, and the Oilers get going. It's 2-0 early on, and like I said, you keep scoring and taking care of business like we did against the Kraken, and good things are going to happen for this Edmonton Oilers team as the season progresses. Suddenly the Oilers seem like they're alive for the first time all year in this last stretch of, 3 games and a 5-minute section of a period here against the Winnipeg Jets. 5 shots, 2 goals. Eric Comrie, he's been and I mean, these aren't bad goals that Comrie's given up. He's just been beat by a very elite Oilers offense when in gear. Draisaitl's goal from Bouchard's 22nd assist of the season. So Bouchard, he had a rough start, but suddenly he's really starting to put together the points. And again, that is tradable, that is movable, and that I was cued as speaking this week at work, saying that the idea behind the Oilers' $10.5 million deal for Bouchard is by year 3, if it's just not working out, you are able to deal that off because somebody will want exactly everything that Evan Bouchard is. As this comes to the blue line for the Oilers, they are going to get across into the Jets zone. Hyman's going to play it down low. That play was just scrambling around. The momentary pause indicates that as the blue line play for Nurse gets it over to Nugent-Hopkins, over to Regula. Regula back to Nurse. He does not make a good decision with that puck, nor does Regula really truly passing it over to Nurse. And this one's going to go against the end wall where the Jets get attacking this one on net. 14:00 to go in this first period of play. Battle against the wall. 2-0 Oilers. 5-3 the shots on net for the Oilers as McDavid loads back to Regula, who's seeming to get a lot of ice time here for the Oilers. I haven't checked those metrics yet lately as Nugent-Hopkins down low to Regula. Back to the blue line for Nuge. Nuge across the line to Bouchard. Bouchard off the wall down to Hyman. Back to McDavid behind the net. He gets spun and pinned by Sandberg as 13:34 to go here in this first period. The Oilers spent some offensive zone time, just couldn't come up with a product for it. And here's Hyman across the line again, loading up Connor McDavid, who's getting that maybe a little bit of a double shift. Stops and starts a defender. Bouchard pass for the tip to Podkolzin, couldn't get it through. Ekholm plays it down low. Hyman a little bit of a short skate to that one, couldn't get it going. Podkolzin couldn't battle that one free, and now here's a hit against one of the Jets players. A racism does Podkolzin, turned into him actually, as here's now Bouchard over to the far side looking for Savoy. Ekholm fakes the slapper, controls, plays it along the wall, over now near side, back to the blue line, over now for Ekholm again as the Oilers pitch this one around the offensive zone. 12:50 to go. Draisaitl will spin it right onto the tape of a Jets player, and the Jets, tired, might be just content to get a change going. And here's now Draisaitl loaded up along the near side wall. He's going to pitch it into the skates of Podkolzin, on to Ekholm. The shot, the rebound, back of the net. Yes, sirree. I think that's Matt Savoy. Like I said last game, don't let him get hot. And now all of a sudden, kid is hot. 3-0 for the Oilers. 12:36 to go in the first period of play. 6-3 the shots. Yes, lots of happy Oilers fans tonight, and Matt Savoy, another goal here for the Oilers. What an unreal start to this hockey game again for the Oilers, even quicker than the game against the Kraken, and just a really direct play, go to the net, everybody kind of crashing in at the same time, and it's Matt Savoy, right place, right time on the pass from Podkolzin over to Ekholm as Savoy chips it through traffic back of the net. And the Oilers take advantage to go up 3-0 as Matt Savoy deflects that one through. I think Savoy got it. Maybe Lowry touched it. But Peter, good evening, and McDiesel as well as No Clue. I think we got you there earlier as the Oilers are rocking and rolling. The Jets are going to take a timeout. We'll take a moment to get into the chat. As, yeah, and you know what? Noah Philp, I have no clue what the update is. I haven't been paying attention to what Chris Nowluck's been saying this week, so I'm not sure if we're going. Yeah, so Peter, it's been one of those seasons again, hasn't it? So, yeah, that's the tough part. But these goals for the Oilers, it just really came down to at some point this season they had to start attacking the net and playing more direct. And right now they are, and they're getting the results for it. So, you like to see it. as the Oilers desperately need to keep this going. All hands on deck for the Oilers. Yeah, that's the big thing. It has been all hands on deck so far. They've gotten good results early on in this hockey game tonight. And if they can continue it, it will be a good night to be an Edmonton Oilers fan. As the face-off won there by the Oilers, Nuge, Hyman, McDavid out there. So Leon Draisaitl from Evan Bouchard, Nugent Hopkins from McDavid and Hyman, and Matt Savoy from Ekholm and Vasily Podkolzin, your goal scoring so far. As well, Ty Emerson able to aid that one forward, as now Zach Hyman left it for McDavid. Full flight across the line. Nugent Hopkins over to Hyman, trying to poke it over to McDavid. He's going to work it down low, cut off there by Morrissey. Hyman comes over. It's not going to work for him, and here's Morrissey coming back the other way across the line. The Jets, Scheifele pushes it past Kulak. Kulak sees it spun by Scheifele off the skates of Emerson. Hey, that's okay. They'll stay to the outside. The Jets only 3 shots. No power plays in this game so far. Life is going good for the Oilers. Again, you need to get the 4th one here if you're the Edmonton Oilers, simply because you know what happened against the Kraken last time out. Here's McDavid across the line to Nugent Hopkins. Back to McDavid. McDavid button hooks. Looks for a better option. The shot from the point goes through traffic and is blocked there by the Jets, as this will be played over now near side. Regula is going to take traffic twice, and the Oilers are able to keep it in. Bounce it off the end wall glass. It's going to be Tomaszek taking a jolt, as here comes Trent Frederick back to the blue line. Darnell Nurse looks to drift it over to Frederick. On net, the shot, the rebound through traffic hits Frederick in the head or hand. We'll have a hand pass. And there you have it. We have a stoppage in play here in this first period. But the Oilers rocking and rolling. William, did they change systems? They made one tweak. I think Chris Knobloch said they made one tweak as to kind of what they were doing on the ice, and all of a sudden, immediately going into that Kraken game, it started paying dividends. So the Oilers make one tweak, and I think the tweak is just, again, following up support to the net, it looks like, right? The Oilers, when they get a shot on net, earlier in the season, didn't seem to have enough bodies in front or bodies in the right place or layers coming towards the net. Suddenly now, and I could be totally cranked, but I'm telling you, it seems like there might be a guy in front when there's a point shot or an outside shot, but there's somebody crashing in when that puck gets loose in front after the shot, and it's paying dividends for the Oilers. I mean, you look at 2 goals in this game plus the Draisaitl breakaway, things are starting to work, and I think the Oilers are as well, not being as afraid as they were earlier in the season to cheat at their own blue line for offense. I think some guys, were looking for the home run pass a little bit more, whereas now they're just cheating, making the gap kind of a little bit more of a situation for the opponent's D, and it's starting to work. Game in, game out. It's looking better and better as the Oilers keep going here. So, Wild Brick, yeah, the Oilers are winning. Things are going good again, and I mean 3-0, dangerous lead in hockey, so we got to get the next one, but plenty of time with 11:35 to go here in this one. And Janice, I will tell you, it is nice to have that Nugent Hopkins one up there. Obviously, Nuge has been having a really good go here since I put that on the wall. So too has Matt Savoy, though. Let's give a little bit of flowers to Matt Savoy, who's come on with a lot of offense the last 2 games, 3 goals. As I said, don't let the kid get hot. It could be dangerous for the NHL, and suddenly he's rocking and rolling. And by the way, Ike Howard's lighting up the AHL, getting percolated, hopefully to come up and get things going if he gets another call. The shooting this season for Connor McDavid, 54 shots, 54 goals the last 54 shots, 13 goals the last 18 games. It's been a pretty good go for Connor, and I think you're going to see him keep shooting here as it's starting to result, like I said, with layers going to the net, in a lot of points for Connor McDavid over the last 2 games. As this pickpocket there by Nemeshnikov off a block by the Oilers, running around the Oilers' 4th line right now. They got back-to-back shift here, it looks like, as Tomaszek, of course, a pure goal scorer, really playing a 4th line role for the Oilers tonight. But I think Tomaszek, if he can start playing a little bit more here as the Oilers steady out the lineup, that'd be great. But I think the Oilers know that ultimately it's going to be an interesting situation when some other bodies start getting healthy. The Oilers, seeing the Jets whip the puck around the zone there, couldn't get it going, and here's now Tomaszek, who will be content to try and flip it in. Lazar will just push it deeper, and the Oilers look like they may peel off for a line change here. Mangiapane and the 3rd line will indeed head over the boards. The Jets ice the puck immediately following that. So we will have an offensive zone face-off with the Jets kind of just coming off the heels of some good offensive zone pressure. And now we'll see what we can do here as the team continues to roll what is a 3-0 lead. How good does that feel to say about this Edmonton Oilers team? My goodness, that is fantastic, as Henrique will take the face off. He had a couple points last game, and you'd love to see him continue that here as well tonight. So for the Oilers, it would be great to see them keep rocking and rolling what's been a tough stretch of year so far, but all of a sudden the last 3 games starting to look that much better for the Oilers. The Jets trying to bank it off the boards and out. It'll go into the Jets bench off an Oilers player. The face-off will be just outside the blue line. And the Oilers have so far in 4 straight periods scored 3 goals each period. So hey, just saying, things are starting to take a turn here in the right direction for the Edmonton Oilers. And franchise high 56 wins and 116 points last season for the Jets. Well, they're not quite there this year, but they're looking to try and get going in the right direction as well. The Oilers so far with the leg up in this hockey game. The puck bounces free on the dump into Adam Henrique. It'll go in behind the net. Matthias Janmark battles it free for the Oilers. It's going to be Lowry taking care of business and clearing it to the wing on the far side, where the Jets are able to exit the zone off the end wall. Emberson will touch up for the icing call with 9:49 to go here in the first. The Oilers now with 9-4 the shots on net. Things are looking okay, and I see the win percentage for the Oilers is creeped up on 59 votes all the way up to 83. So I mean, some people might know what's going on here with the Oilers early on a hockey night in Canada. Saturday night, Leon Draisaitl, following the icing call, will take the face off, push it back for Matt Savoy, who gets battled off the puck. But Savoy at the pro level, he's going to start figuring out these battles as soon as he starts scoring. And well, he started scoring, so just you wait for the beast that Matt Savoy is about to turn into, despite the undersized frame at 5'10". This one to the middle of the ice is going to be picked up by Bouchard on the clear by the Jets. Lead pass over there, kind of misfired Draisaitl. Now a misplay there by Comrie, leads back to the slot for Ekholm. Ekholm over to Bouchard. Bouchard at the blue line will pick up now a Draisaitl. Draisaitl button hooks around Taves, pushes the guy off him. And here's now Ekholm over, waiting. Bouchard slaps it off a leg to Draisaitl, and then Draisaitl gives it away. Savoy wins that battle, gets it back for Podkolzin near side boards. Bouchard, the clap bomb up over top of the net. And here's Draisaitl now throwing into the far side half wall inside the Jets zone. Played there by Podkolzin. Tired line will allow the Jets to skate it onto the ice here behind the net. And here's Hyman trying to get something going. Morrissey goes to the other side, gets it out to center across the line, picked up by the Jets. Battling there, and Connor McDavid, well, he loses it in traffic, and the Jets will take over in tight. Nice kick save by Stuart Skinner on the play short side. And here's Connor McDavid full flight, realizing possibly a 3-on-2 developing. Jets quickly get back on the back check, and well, Connor McDavid just flubs a pass, trying to get it to the middle of the ice. This one's going to split the D and allow Darnell Nurse to backhand it off the wall to Alec Regula, who spins and fires it up the ice. For one, Zach Hyman over to Ryan Nugent-Hopkins. This line already has a goal tonight. Nuge looking for the play onto the tape of Drew McDavid. The pass over, and Darnell Nurse almost tucked it home after sneaking down the left wing. Oilers play it back down low for Hyman, who is on waiting the puck. Here's McDavid with it now, looking to bleed into the middle. There's Nuge, the shot, the poke, the rebound, and McDavid got in the way of Nugent-Hopkins getting to that puck. McDavid is dancing out there tonight. He's down on the ice. There's a penalty upcoming. And what a shift there from the Oilers captain in the top line, as man oh man am I glad they reunited Nugent-Hopkins and Hyman with Connor McDavid. The results speak for themselves here so far in the last few games. And not to forget that Connor McDavid and company also have Stuart Skinner pitching 4 saves to begin the game so far. Kyle Connor with the knee or the trip or whatever you want to call that there. So what a night here for the Oilers so far, doing the job. Friends, we're just about to hit 20 likes on the stream. If you've been enjoying the play-by-play so far, thank you, and definitely leave that like on the stream. I will tell you as well, we are rolling along so far in this hockey game pretty dang well. As you look at the Oilers, Ryan Nugent-Hopkins scoring his 7th from Connor McDavid and Zach Hyman. Leon Draisaitl's 17th from Evan Bouchard. Matt Savoy's 6th from Matthias Ekholm and Vasily Podkolzin. So you got to think, you know, Matt Savoy's all of a sudden up to 6 goals. Vasily Podkolzin's got it going on that second line as well. with 5 goals or somewhere thereabout. It's going to be a good time if this Oilers top 6 really starts clicking and putting goals in the net. And you think 3 goals in 4 straight periods, don't mind seeing that. And now you're up to, well, in the last 4 games, 16 goals scored. You're averaging 4 a game. You're going to win a lot of those games. And it's incumbent on the Oilers tonight to keep it going, pedal to the floor, and get the job done here against the Winnipeg Jets this evening. So definitely appreciate everybody being aboard for the ride here tonight. It's been an absolutely fantastic start for the Oilers, and we're looking to keep that going again. Even if we score 3 goals a period tonight, that's fine. It just comes down to the Oilers have to show up and get the job done the rest of the way. No pedal off the, no foot off the gas, proverbially there. We're up to 24 hours on the stream, friends. Thank you for being aboard here this evening. Do appreciate you hanging out with me. Again, as I said, we are closing in on the likes. We're up to 21. I'd love to see if we could hit 100 tonight. I don't know what we finished last stream with. I'm going to advertise that a little bit more. And of course, if you are new to the channel and you want to stay tuned for more Oilers news, we'll have the live post game tonight after things wrap up, as long as things keep going right. Definitely consider hitting that subscribe button, and let's keep going here on the live stream here this evening. Kyle Connor for tripping. At 12:18, the puck's won back by the Winnipeg Jets, fired around the near side boards. The Oilers' power play ranked 2nd in the NHL right now. Bouchard picks it up behind his own net. $1:50 to go here in the power play as the Oilers will look to add to things here as this one's across the line and the Oilers are offside on the play. So $1:44 to go. The power play just unfortunate a little bit there as they tried to get going a little bit too fast. 7:26 to go in this first period. And what a period it's been. 11 shots, 3 goals. The Oilers very easily, if they keep putting up shots in bunches, could hit that 15 mark and really be shooting a nice clip to start this hockey game. So here's a puck won back by the Oilers. Connor McDavid across the line on the pass from Evan Bouchard. Over now to Draisaitl, drifting it down low into the corner for Zach Hyman. Hyman's going to try and win that battle. He doesn't. It'll be cleared out by the Jets, and Stuart Skinner will leave it there. Stuart Skinner only credited right now as it speaks on the Sportsnet broadcast with 3 saves as Bouchard leaves it back now for McDavid. McDavid skating across the line. It's a turnover in that traffic, and the Jets will once again clear it down, except Stuart Skinner is right prepared for that one. Picked it up and fired it onto the tape of Evan Bouchard right quick as Draisaitl will leave it for McDavid to get across the blue line. Spins it back to Draisaitl near side point against the wall. Draisaitl down low to McDavid. A little bit more methodical of a power play here than we saw to start the game against the Kraken. As here's Nugent Hopkins firing it back to McDavid, over to Draisaitl, back to Bouchard. The cannon scores, but there is all kinds of traffic in front. Let me see here with the glasses and not the glasses. I think that won't count, or it'll at least be reviewed. There was a scramble in the crease with Hyman and a Jets defenseman, and Comrie was on the ground. But for the time being, it's 4-0, and Evan Bouchard has picked up his 2nd point of the night. We'll see how this one shakes out as Shen was in front there as I think McDavid does the flyby. Maybe it's DeMello there as DeMello takes down Hyman a little bit. Oh, no, actually, Comrie just blew an edge. If they rule that contact in the crease, I'm going to be blown away as Comrie just blew an edge trying to get over in the crease, and I think that's why Bouchard was able to kind of take advantage of that one. A wide open net as far as that one goes. That's a heck of a sequence there for the Oilers, and it'll be 4-0. The Jets, I'm sure, would love to challenge that one if they could, and I think they're taking their time to try and figuring it out. But 6:29 to go in this first period of play. The Oilers, if it's true, they're up 4-0 on 14 shots. That's wild. But yeah, I think Comrie just blew an edge outside the crease. We'll face this one off at center ice. 5th goal this season for Bouchard. So now up to 27 points on the season. He very well will hit 80, if not, 90 this year. McDavid and Draisaitl pick up the assists. McDavid's 28th assist. That's crazy. McDavid's absolutely having a year here. And we'll see if the Jets have any kind of response. Maximus thinking it might get physical, but I'm thinking that the Oilers are just going to kind of keep rolling here until the point that the Jets are so embarrassed they just want to go home. As Matthias Janmark's battled off the wall. The Oilers offense, friends, after a stonewall by Wallstedt, might be alive after all, as this one's picked up by Janmark, fired around to the near side. Emerson back to the blue line now for Mangiapane, over to the outside for Janmark. He tips it back to the blue line for Kulak. Be a heck of a night to see a multi-point effort out of Kulak. So this one's picked up, fired in front. Henrique's not able to touch that one home from the pass. from Janmark, but the third line's all of a sudden running the Jets around here. Puck's picked up now by Janmark again, and this third line has some confidence from last game. Puck's rimmed around the boards, and the Oilers continue. I don't know what's going on with these Winnipeg Jets tonight, as it'll be picked by Kulak again. He's going to sift it down low. It's blocked there. Here's Henrique with the puck. He's going to fire it around down to Mangiapane again. Mangiapane will leave it there for Matt Savoy. Savoy will try and get that one going. Couldn't do it. This will be picked up in the middle of the ice. Here's Regula. He will feed it ahead onto the tape of Draisaitl over to Podkolzin. Podkolzin in on net. Flubs the shot. Rebound goes to the side of the net, and Eric Comrie's able to cover it up. With 4:58 to go in this first period of play, the Oilers got that next one. And you love to see it. Evan Bouchard picks up the next goal for the Oilers. So it's McDavid, Draisaitl, and Bouchard all with multi-points. The Oilers' power play is 1 for 1 to begin tonight's hockey game. You love to see that. The Oilers giving away the puck a ton tonight, blocking a ton of shots as well so far, and getting out-hit by the Winnipeg Jets, but it just don't matter. The Oilers' offense is here and here to stay, it seems, for the time being, as they come back with a 4-goal period for the first time in the last 4. So you're talking about scoring 13 goals in your last 4 periods of hockey, and we still got 6.5 to score a 5th one. And I will tell you, the Jets' sense of belief will be absolutely dummied if the Oilers can find a way to score this 5th one of the period. What a night it's been so far. I am loving this live streaming thing again, thanks to the Oilers' offense. Unnecessary amount of goal scoring to really get the job done, but it's obviously doing the job here. So friends, again, if you are new to the channel, I'll again advertise, if you haven't subscribed yet, to make sure to do that. We're closing in on trying to get to 20,000 here on the channel. As yeah, it's going to be an interesting World Juniors. We're at about 18,430 right now as the entry coming into the stream. So to hit, you know, about 18,500 before the World Juniors, and then really get into the World Juniors and have 1,500 to go to 20,000 would be a very interesting going. Again, I don't know if you know me in the 20,000 mark, but that's kind of the end-all be-all goal of the channel for the last 10 years, is to get to that 20,000 mark and say, hey, I did it. That would be absolutely unreal. So if you want to subscribe and tune in to some more videos, definitely consider doing that. But for the time being, let's keep it going for the Oilers, who most career goals factored on by teammates NHL history, 504 for McDavid and Draisaitl, and you got to figure they're going to take home the 5th spot all time here by the end of the season. 560 is the spot there at the end of the season they're trying to get to. 4:54 to go here in this first period. Sorry, my time metrics were way off. This one will go over to the far side as Darnell Nurse will pick it up there. The battle ensues with Cole Perfetti. Jonathan Taves flips it down low against the wall. Regula trying to get it going. Nurse trying to poke it forward. 4:36 to go in this first period of play, and the Oilers desperately trying to get out of their own zone. Here's Podkolzin now with the puck. He's going to play it back to Draisaitl, who's going to push through traffic and get through rather effectively. Podkolzin back to the blue line. The Oilers' puck maneuvering has been absolutely incredible the last 2 games. And now here's Podkolzin chirping it up a little bit with the Winnipeg Jets. But Peter, in terms of streaming the Olympics, I really don't know what I'm going to do there. The game times are weird, because it's over in Italy, and as well, a man's got to still work during that time. So it's kind of the tough part. February 6th through 22nd, maybe there will be a stream or 2 in there, but nothing guaranteed, because it's going to be tough. The World Juniors, however, looking forward to doing that. 4:20 to go here in this first period of play. Barron in the face-off dot for the Jets. One back by the Oilers. Bouchard claps it over to Ekholm, who fires it on net. Right quick, got the tip from Lazar, goes up over top. Jets trying to exit the zone right on the tape of Barron over to the far side. Now the Jets get it pushed into the Oilers zone, but nice play by Bouchard to feel pressure, leave it for Ekholm, and allow the Oilers to, well, just ultimately turn it over behind the net. Lazar could not keep possession, and now still battling for it. The Jets get it to the blue line here. Sandberg over to the far side. Shots drifted down low. Battling off the wall. Picking it up is Lazar. Lazar will look to battle it out of the zone here, and a nice spin move by the Oilers is able to get it to the blue line, and that's about it as the Jets fire it back in. 3:39 to go in this first period of play. 16-3 the shots on net as Connor McDavid speeds up the ice once more. He's in on the attack, pushing to the outside, pass to the middle of the ice, and Hyman comes flying in, gets taken out, just can't get the shot on net on Comrie, who again seems to have blown an edge in the net or just kind of moved a little bit too quick there to try and keep up with what was happening between Connor and Zach, as this one's going to be played off the legs there, played to the middle. Now here's Nugent Hopkins over to Hyman. Hyman across the line. Hyman back to the blue line now for Emerson. Hyman plays it in front. Can't get the tip there from McDavid. The pass freed up by the Oilers over to Emerson. From McDavid, loads up Kulak. Kulak near side point, looking for the shot on net. Oilers buzzing the tower, and that's going to be a goalie interference call on Connor McDavid as he got in behind Eric Comrie, who's slow up to get there, and the Jets still just maneuvering as Comrie does not look comfortable going. The net's off for the Jets. They have not blown play dead here, as the Jets will just take time to kill the clock, I guess. Trying to load up across the middle of the ice. Here's Perfetti zooming in across the center ice line. Touched up by Mangiapane, and what a disaster class of a goal there for the Oilers. And Connor McDavid taking out Eric Comrie, who he took a rough ride there from Connor cutting through the crease and just back contact, and then all of a sudden McDavid bouncing off the post and coming back into Comrie because of it and knocking him down again. So that's absolutely fantastic. So it is what it is. But Serge will tell you about these jerseys. So the thing is, these are an away jersey according to the NHL. So that's why the Jets are wearing their dark blues tonight here in Rogers Place. So the Oilers can keep wearing these as long as they want, as long as the home opponents are willing to bring their dark kits. And I think if the road opponent isn't willing to bring their dark kit on the road, that will kill the momentum of wearing the cream jersey sooner or later. 2:23 to go here in this first period of play. Bouchard battles it up off the glass, and it'll go to play to stop the power play for the Jets a little bit there. The Oilers penalty kill ranked 17th in the NHL. 4 seconds gone on the power play for the Jets here after that puck went up and out of play. So the Oilers will redo it here off the draw. Comes to the same exact spot, and Bouchard this time, no mistake about it, right down the ice in on Comrie, and the Oilers get the clear and kill, well, about 20 seconds off this power play to at least start, as the Jets will reload at their own blue line across center. Cutting down the middle is Nemeshnikov. Perfetti out to the outside. Puck back to the blue line now. $1:35 remaining on the power play as the Jets load up to the far side. Pionk back to the blue line for Pionk. Now over here, the shot coming, and Pionk will have to drive over to the line to try and keep it in. He can't do it. $1:46 to go. The Oilers will be in tough to try and score that next goal here in this first period, but they're up 4-0, and a fifth one I don't think really matters if it comes start of the second or end of the first. Is a nice diving play by Podkolzin to get it down the ice, and the fans applaud that as Podkolzin, a fantastic effort there. This puck off the end wall. Matthias Janmark coming out battling that one free against Scheifele for a brief moment, and Morrissey, as he'll take over, does Morrissey, the number 44 for the Jets, up the ice over to the bench. Puck's now loading up Scheifele. He will try and gun up through the middle. Across the line, the Oilers backed up a little bit there, and this will allow the Jets to get it to the middle of the ice. Not a high stick ruled there against Podkolzin, but the Jets stretch the Oilers thin, and Stuart Skinner comes up with the big save on the power play. The first shot for the Jets turned aside by Skinner, who's got 4 saves in this hockey game thus far. And Stuart Skinner, hey, enjoying himself a good little stretch of hockey here so far. He is just a minute away from having really what is 7 periods straight of only 1 goal against hockey. So a minute 01 to say correctly, as the Jets will take the face off. And here's Scheifele, and you've seen Connor and Leon have kind of seen their penalty killing time reduced as well of late. And that'll be hammered out by Ekholm, down low to Comrie. 33 seconds remain in the power play for the Winnipeg Jets. 16-4 the shots for the Oilers. 4-0 the lead for the Edmonton Oilers. 45 seconds now on the clock overall as 20 seconds remain on the power play. Lazar beats himself into the boards there on a bizarre play, as this one's going to be worked by the Jets. Rolling through the zone, Connor near side, back to the blue line for Morrissey. Down low to Connor, 8 seconds to go on the power play. Scheifele has the puck, walks in, snipes the shot, but it's stopped by Skinner. And the clock returns to normal, 20 seconds to go here in the first period of play. What's been an absolute dandy for the Edmonton Oilers so far, as this one will be picked up again. Jets inside their own zone. Across the line, 9 seconds to go, battling against into the middle of the ice. Regula taps it free. Jets with one more chance. They fired it off the legs of Draisaitl, recouping at their own blue line. Time expires. That'll do it for a 4-0 first period for the Edmonton Oilers. What an absolute wild ride here. We're watching the live stream. So I think we're good back and live. Seeing some internet issues here, unfortunately, but again, unfortunately, the issue is we've had a lot of snow the last few days, and the power lines and the internet lines maybe a little bit frozen, so my apologies for the disconnected stream here in the first period. But friends, 4-0 Oilers after 1. Let's go. So I'm going to take a quick TV timeout to go upstairs, grab another bowl of soup. I'll be right back. Thanks for being aboard. Again, if you haven't already left that like, let's surprise me with how many likes we got on the stream here by the time we get back. The goal is 100 for tonight's stream. Be back in a moment. If you haven't already, hit that subscribe button as well. See you. All right, well, let's do this, friends. The Oilers up 4-0 after the first period of play. What an absolute incredible night so far for those Edmonton Oilers. 16 shots for the Oilers, 5 for the Jets. Getting run out of your own building, 14-1 in the hit column. But the score, again, point to the scoreboard. Oilers don't need to beat themselves up if they're going to beat the Jets up in the scoreboard the rest of the way home. Face-offs are pretty much dead even. The Oilers, power play, striking once, killing a penalty as well. 8 giveaways for the Oilers. They start cleaning up this game a little bit. My goodness, are things going to get going really good here for the Oilers. And of course, the 6 block shots, absolutely huge for the Oilers, who need to get the job done against the Jets tonight. Ryan Nugent-Hopkins kicked off the scoring with his 7th of the season from Connor McDavid and Zach Hyman. Draisaitl's 17th from Bouchard put us up 2-0. And then Matt Savoy, I told you last game, don't let the kid get hot. Well, he's got his 6th. And guess what? Ekholm and Vashili Podkolzin pick up the assists. So top line D and the second line really cooking tonight. Huge points out of them. What you're talking about, 4 points out of the second line, plus Bouchard and Ekholm coming up with some points. Bouchard 2-point night on his goal from Draisaitl and Connor McDavid. So the top line as well, you think about that there, have 4 points combined. So top 6 is going. Need the bottom 6 to get a goal here in the second period and keep the boots to the Jets. And then all of a sudden life is going to look really, really good for the Edmonton Oilers. So we've been waiting for this all season. That's for sure, Serge. It's been a weird go, but now all of a sudden it is here. And yeah, all of a sudden, if you get Jack Roslovic back for this Edmonton Oilers squad, I don't even know how you do it. I guess you build that third line, going forward, because Roslovic, the way he's played for the Oilers, can drive his own line, really, with the caliber of player he is. And Roslovic alongside, maybe Henrique, and I don't know who you'd want to put up there. If you want to feel sheltering Clattenburg a little bit more as a possibility, or you want to bring up somebody from the AHL if there's more injuries to somebody that's in the lineup already. I mean, Janmark could benefit from a guy like Jack Roslovic. It's just how the Oilers build this lineup from here is going to be really interesting. Roslovic, Philp coming back could get really interesting really quick, right? Philp takes over for Lazar. Roslovic takes Tomaszek out of the lineup. I think at some point here, right quick, David Tomaszek's going to end up finding himself in the AHL. Unfortunate, but kind of a situation where he's a no waivers player, take the salary cap out, and he's a great guy to just throw down there in the AHL and let him build that North American game for a little bit until the next injury, bring him right back up, and away you go. And I think Bakersfield would be really happy to have him, a veteran guy who comes in from playing pro hockey for a lot of years and kind of guide things along with the youngsters we have down there that are doing the things they are doing. So this Oilers team is going to be really interesting to keep track of as we get healthier towards Christmas, that's for sure. Goaltending, again tonight, that's another shutout period for Stu. So he's had 7 periods of hockey in the last 3 games he's played. This one not finished yet, but he has done a heck of a job so far, and we'll see if that continues the rest of the way home. But what a night for Stuart Skinner. Easy night so far, so just need him to keep that going here against the Jets this evening. And as well, I have to say, friends, we're up at about 50 hours streamed so far tonight, so appreciate you guys hanging out again. I guess I was challenging you to hit that like button before I went upstairs. We're now at 29 likes, looking for 30 on our way to 100 tonight. Connor McDavid driving through Eric Comrie. That, I'm surprised, didn't draw more of a situation for the Winnipeg Jets and the Edmonton Oilers. Thought that might kind of dust things up a little bit. It didn't. And now we'll see if the Jets have any kind of response here in this second period play. Will be really interesting to see if they just kind of roll over and die a little bit here in this second period, just simply because, well, what do you have to say, right? They're down 4-0, and unless they mount a comeback rather quick, they ain't going to be coming back at all. Funny to factor as well, Connor McDavid is part of both penalties tonight. The tripping call against Kyle Connor and the goalie interference call against Connor. Art, welcome back. Glad to have you aboard again. And yeah, I think it's going to be interesting to see kind of what happens with this Oilers lineup. So if goaltending gets hot, that'd be huge. I know Pix let in 4, but again, he also won a hockey game, and you won it scoring goals, which I don't think the Oilers, and even going back to the Cup Finals against the Panthers, I know that the Panthers scoring as many goals as they did kind of doesn't help the Oilers' cause. But the Oilers are not going to win playoff games in the Stanley Cup Finals scoring 3 or less goals. They got to score 4. So, end of the day, the offense getting going, cleans up a lot of the goaltending, takes a lot of the pressure off. And, of course, the goaltending, if they get that 10% better than they are now, don't worry about it. Things are going to look really, really good for the Edmonton Oilers here in a matter of moments as this month of December carries on. It was the month of December last year, 9-3-1 record for the Oilers that turned things around the way it did. The Wild are playing tonight as well, so the boys will have to get on the battlefield after tonight's game. The Flames played earlier. That's why the first half of the crew got on just as this Oilers game was going. But I'm looking forward to what's going to be a special night of hockey here, it looks like, for the Oilers as they continue a stretch of dominance. I know they got shut out by the Jets, but I mean, they didn't look bad. The problem and the frustration with the Jets game was A, Wallstead getting the shutout, B, not getting a goal in a game that was as well played by the Oilers as it possibly comes in a 1-0 shutout. So you kind of get that one as well. As we carry on here on the stream tonight, friends, definitely encourage you, if you've hit that subscribe button post-game as you're waiting for the post-game to upload, to go check out the channel. There's a whole bunch of things. I'm thinking about renovating the layout of the home tab on Dolynny TV here tonight after the game. So we'll see if we can kind of shake those things out a little bit and get things set up to make you be able to find things a little bit easier on the channel. I'm finding scrolling on the TV is not quite where I want it to be for you. So we'll figure that out. And of course, if you're watching back home on the TV, hey, appreciate you. I know kind of the first guy to let me know about that is my good buddy Rick from another fellow business in the chain of businesses that I'm in. And he let me know, hey, I watch you in bed on the TV. And I'm like, that's an option? You can do that? And all of a sudden, I feel like a lot of you actually do end up doing that as well. So appreciate you if you're winding down on what's been a big Saturday. I said it off the start of the stream, if you didn't tune in at the start, that I was in the ditch today. My neighbor rescued me. Fantastic effort there by him to show up with the bear tracks and get me out of the ditch. I mean, I was just kind of slid off the road, but fantastic to have such great neighbors in the nearby area. So hey, you know what? I'll take it. It's been a good day myself. And end of the day as well, my good buddy Danny from Cold Lake, got to catch up with him during the lunch hours. So yeah, you know, it's been an all right day, I think. And we'll see ultimately. Gas is $1.19, so guy's not complaining when he has to drive around on the weekend either. So life is getting better and better by the day. I think a lot of that has to do with why there's 2 live streams this week. Like I said, work's a big factor, but as well seeing the fact that life is truly starting to come back together a little bit here and get that little bit better as it should. So 16-5, the shots on goal for the Oilers after the first period of play. Again, to run you down if you're just joining the live stream now, Nuge, Draisaitl, Bouchard, and Savoy. Didn't say it in order. Savoy and Bouchard flipped. But Matt Savoy, do not let him get hot. That kid is going to be absolute dynamite for the Oilers on the top line. Again, Jack Roslovic probably is a one-year Oiler and delivers some of the best one-year results we've ever had. But that was also what we thought about Corey Perry. So we'll see if Jack Roslovic can carve out a really good spot in the Oilers' top 9. It would be awesome if the Oilers could get Janmark and Henrique going alongside Roslovic, really tidying up work and getting the job done. So that'd be fantastic. Maximus, I think no matter what, there still will be a goaltending trade. The Oilers really want to run a 1A, 1B with Skinner, it seems. I know the cap space is a big issue, but I would believe the Oilers running 1A, 1B with Skinner would be in their best interest. And as well, Pickard is just kind of maybe running out of the luck that is the magic that is goaltending voodoo, I think is the way to put it. And that's not a strike on picks. That's just kind of what it is. And Serge, you're saying it's $1.22 in Ontario. Well, see, that's great to hear. You want to hear across the country gas prices coming down at the holiday season. That makes everything that much easier on everybody. And again, if you're getting those savings at the pump, why not pass them on to your local pub, your local sports bar, your local lounge, whatever you got. Go tip your server well this holiday season and make sure all of us eat really, really good here this year. And I think that's the big thing. And I know I've been out at the bar a lot lately. I mean, at the end of the day is you got to meet people somehow. And yeah, it's kind of a situation where those servers are working super hard for obviously whatever you're willing to give via a tip. And it's been fantastic to see the local bar scene in Airdrie really vibrant again here in December. It's nice to see everybody showing up and supporting. If we can keep doing that towards Christmas, that'd be fantastic, friends. If you need any information on why I'm rambling about that, find the Remember in the Grand Center Hotel video here on the channel, because that'll explain everything you need to know about why I'm rambling on about supporting your local small town bar. Anyway, we flipped hours here. That's the 9 o'clock hour, so the first hour and change of the live stream is done here on Dolynny TV this evening, friends. We got 68 of you aboard. If you are new to the channel, make sure to consider hitting that subscribe button on Dolynny TV. Love to have you aboard. It's been an interesting go this year. Obviously, a lot more coverage on the channel than maybe last year. Last year there was a lot going on behind the scenes trying to set up some family moving down here, some just work being crazy, and of course just trying to take care of myself. So here we have it. What we need to know as well is the fact that for the Oilers, you're looking to keep this going because this makes my whole thing a lot easier. It's a lot easier. The results in terms of views, watch time, engagement on YouTube are a lot worse when the Oilers are winning, but man, is it a lot easier to talk about the Oilers when they are winning. I will tell you that much. So looking forward to seeing that continue on here, as we'll see if there's anything we've missed from this first period of play. As Pitlick, number 68 for the Bakersfield Condors. Sorry, I was confused. Those Condors jerseys are just so beautiful. As the Oilers have absolutely gotten the job done going here. As Elliot Friedman on Saturday headlines just said that the Oilers have legitimate interest in Tristan Jarry, but it's complicated. It might not be possible to do a deal because Pittsburgh will not retain. He also mentions that if the Oilers do it, they would want a Skinner-Jarry tandem. There you go. Like I said, news and notes. What you know is what you need to know. So I don't know what else we got going on. It's been an interesting game so far. 4-0. I'm loving that. I really can't complain at all there. And obviously, the more the Oilers make this easier to do, the better. As it's going to be interesting to see if they can continue to show up in force here in this upcoming period of hockey. Would love to see that happen. Again, to review the goal scorers, Nuge from McDavid and Hyman, Draisaitl from Bouchard, Matt Savoy from Ekholm and Podkolzin. Bouchard from Draisaitl and McDavid on the power play. So the power play is 1-for-1 tonight. And hopefully we keep this thing going here against the Jets. That's really all it comes down to. Eric Comrie's been tested. I think you'll see the Jets' backup goaltender start this first period or second period, kind of reminiscent of that Dallas Stars game where Skinner got shelled for 4 goals. So hey, how about we talk about that a moment? The Oilers are on the reverse side of the Stars game here tonight against the Winnipeg Jets, the Central Division. What a weird situation it's been this year for the Oilers. And well, now we're starting to figure it out here little by little. So hopefully the Oilers can get the job done against the Jets here in this, what is going to be second period. All right, so what we got going on is obviously Stuart Skinner's only got 5 shots against. He's made all 5 saves. They're advertising the Winnipeg Heritage Classic. I'm sorry, I got distracted by that. Winnipeg 2026. I wouldn't mind that being my first venture to Winnipeg next year. I might actually book that off. Maybe message an old friend, Frank Landry from Channel 33 RPM, and hit him up to see what we can do as we flash back to obviously the Jets and Oilers Heritage Classic as well at the football stadium those years ago. As the Oilers, well, they had a fun game that game. That was a special year, right? That was 16-17 as we went to the Stanley Cup playoffs for the first time in over 10 years. So here we go. Let's get this going. Thomas Milic, wasn't he a Team Canada goaltender not too long ago? 0-1 record, 362 goals against average, 885 save percentage in his only game of the season so far. We're back to action. The Oilers have won the opening face-off. Nugent Hopkins has it bounced ahead down from the blue line of the Oilers. Here's Nuge across the line. McDavid fully in flight already to begin this first period of play. It gets across to Hyman. He makes a terrible effort to get it on net, but enough to discombobulate the Jets a little bit and maybe cause a turnover here far side on the zone. Clear as DeMello again will try and retrieve this puck up against the wall. Turned over by the Jets. Fired towards the net by the Oilers. Missed wide on the Bouchard shot attempt. And here's now Ekholm. He's got Nugent Hopkins. It bounces out of play though with 36 seconds gone as Milic, 151st pick overall in 2023 by the Winnipeg Jets. The jackpot for the Oilers up to 655. We're talking 3 zeros after that. 36 seconds gone in this second period, and the Oilers have already spent the first bit in the Jets zone. My goodness, we love to see it. Let's see what happens here. What can Milic do for the Jets against the Oilers as he'll try and keep the Oilers out of the goal-scoring category the rest of the way home. That's at least the Jets' hope as they change up from Eric Comrie, who I said not the strongest goaltender the Jets can throw against us, and we hope we can light them up, and that's what we've done. The Oilers, starting to have this trend against the backup goaltenders across the NHL where they're actually starting to get the results. And I would argue Wallstedt, the way he's playing, is probably the starter for the Minnesota Wild for the time being. So we'll see how that happens as the Oilers battling inside their own zone end wall. Drysdale comes up with a puck. Tip play by Savoy, gets it out of the zone. It fooled Pionk. And I mean, you don't really see Neil Pionk make too many mistakes. He's a pretty solid defenseman back there for the Jets. Very frustrating guy to play against, and a good result there for the Oilers as Podkolzin dribbles it up against the wall. Regula back to Podkolzin. Loses that puck, and Regula will get it onside as the Oilers are going to go for a line change. Savoy confused, and the Oilers unable to get it going. His record in December since 2023-2024, the best in the NHL for the Oilers, is picking it up. Here's Kulak bouncing it off the wall to Henrique, over to Janmark, couldn't get the pass through. Puck will be rolled around the boards and back out to center ice, tipped by the Jets at the blue line of the Oilers to avoid icing. Here the Oilers come back the other way across the line. Mangiapane trying to get that going, can't get it going in that direction. And here's the Jets coming across the line again, trying to win it free. That'll be fired down and around to the near side for Kulak. Kulak up off the wall, can't get it going. Nemeshnikov sees it tipped off the skates there of, I don't know who's playing for the Jets in that 62 jersey, as this will go across to the far side boards, and the Jets, well, still maintaining possession. The shot doesn't get through. Another block there for the Oilers. Back to the blue line. Over now near side. Shen fires it down against the end wall, and Emberson and Kulak are under duress here on this shift, but they are going to ultimately be able to escape the zone. Loading up, here's Emberson across the blue line over to Janmark. Janmark down the right wing. He'll pivot back, look for the open man, and Lazar, the shot, scores! Curtis Lazar! Hey, there's some depth scoring, and you love to see it for the Oilers. I said they should get that next goal. They do. Curtis Lazar from Matthias Janmark, and the bottom six, the last two, have life. 17-18 in the second period to go. The Oilers' 17th shot of the game results in their fifth goal, as Emberson, Janmark, Lazar, back of the net. The Oilers lead 5-0, and what a game this would be to be at Rogers Place tonight. That's absolutely fantastic there. Mangiapane was looking at the side of the net to clean up the rebound if any was available. And the Oilers' fourth line center gets a goal. Epiphany, welcome aboard. Friends, glad to see everybody chatting there. Excited for that one as the Oilers will try and load up the attack again here. Here's Ekholm. He's going to hammer it into the offensive zone. Lazar along the wall will try and turn it over against DeMello. Both teams battling the last guy in, and Morrissey comes away with the puck. It's 5-0 for the Edmonton Oilers here to begin this hockey game across. The shot comes off the pads of Skinner, and this would be where you would love to see things go here, as this one's going to be flipped up into the middle of the ice. Here's now Lazar. He's going to pivot it back to Frederick, in on net. Frederick to the net. Layers of traffic coming, and Lazar and Frederick just couldn't pile that one home, but a good effort there by Lazar and Frederick to drive towards the net. Janmark now up to 4 assists on the season. Here's Nurse picking it up for Regula across to the far side. Near side, Regula again at the dots. Back, low, high, wherever that is for McDavid. He decided to go back to the point. Crossed over to the far side. Nugent Hopkins off the post. My goodness, what a shot there from Nuge. Regula comes in. Puck's free in the crease, and McDavid and Nuge again can't connect. But what a night here. The Oilers continue to get high danger chance after high danger chance. Stu Skinner leaves it there behind the net for Nurse. Nurse will work over to the far side as the Oilers top line on the ice. Regula back to Nurse. Lifts it ahead into the Oilers zone off a stick. It's icing, actually. I thought it was off of body of the Jets, but it's not good enough to go for the NHL, and it'll be an icing call against the Oilers. But just absolutely unreal what we were watching here. Milic has made some good saves, at least to start this second period. On the Nuge shot, it goes off the post, and then the chaos in front. And now the Oilers will try and keep responding here. What's been a good game so far, friends. If you're enjoying this Oilers game, leave a like on the stream. Like I said, I think we can hit 100 likes just simply because the Oilers are playing lights out the last 5 periods. This one back near side. Connor tries to force it in front. He can't do it. And the Oilers are stymieing the Jets defensively, by the way. The Jets really have not had a dangerous look all game, it feels like. And Stu Skinner, even the last dangerous chance they had, kicked it aside rather Stuart Skinner-like, as this will be Connor McDavid in his own zone, probably in need of a line change. Here's Nurse looking to lead ahead for Hyman. He tips it in. Milic is going to come out to challenge Hyman on this zone entry dump in. And the Oilers will just fire it around the boards again to the far side as back to the blue line it goes. Draisaitl's line now on the ice as McDavid goes chasing after it. Ekholm engages the clearing attempt. Podkolzin with that puck. Actually, it was Podkolzin that came and got that puck. Here's Savoy near side boards. Ekholm sees it escape the zone. Bouchard will come out and play this one, as this one will be picked up by Ekholm. Ahead, tipped by Savoy. Draisaitl to the middle of the ice, picked up by Podkolzin. The shot from the point, tipped up and out of play by Ekholm. From the point shot, I think somebody in front tipped that and it goes out, but 14:35 to go. The Oilers are absolutely pounding the net here tonight, and it is fantastic to see what they're doing, as the season finale of Heartland is tomorrow night. Oh my God, you're kidding me. That sucks. Anyway, at this rate, yeah, we definitely need to talk about wearing these jerseys a lot more. These need to be the feature in the playoffs, that's for sure. As this picked up by Bouchard, shot towards the far side. The Oilers do not need the permission to wear these on the road. They need the permission of the other team to wear these at home. The rumor is that's why it took so long for them to debut this year, by the way. This is picked up by Ekholm. He's going to play it ahead to Draisaitl. Over now, near side for Bouchard. Bouchard loads it up for Podkolzin. Back to Bouchard. Tipped in front of the net. Doesn't work out as Savoy over the corner. Cleared it back to the front of the ice. But that's the thing. Savoy was having a lot of success playing from behind the net in that game against the Kraken. Another perfect poke by the Oilers. A block shot by Podkolzin. He's stung, but it goes out of play. He'll be okay with that result. And the Oilers are rocking and rolling here tonight in what's been a fantastic effort so far. Podkolzin looks like he can't put weight on his ankle. That's a problem. Savoy's going to pick up his much larger teammate. And what a night here for the Oilers so far. Just absolutely dummying it. That is for sure. Been a fantastic one. So we'll see if they can continue it so far. Just see if there's anything missing on social media. It's just showing off the Lazar beam if you would. Friends, if you are new to the channel right now, consider hitting that subscribe button here on Dolynny TV. Love to have you aboard. We're just on commercial break. This Oilers game has been absolutely lights out. Definitely, if you are interested in sticking around, we'll have the live post game. We're up over 30 likes on the stream now tonight. Appreciate you hanging out with me, and it's been fantastic to be back live streaming when the Oilers finally decided to score goals this season. What a go that is, hey? That's a weird bit of science there for the Oilers, as they are really coming together all of a sudden. The lines are really starting to mesh like everybody's been asking for all season, and now things are looking on the up and up. So let's see how it goes. As friends, we're up over 65 hours watched on the stream, so thanks for hanging out this evening. Spending a lot of time. I think last live stream got an hour 40 or 144 hours, so we're looking well on track to do some damage tonight. Appreciate you just spending time. Again, I mean, it's Saturday night, hockey night in Canada. I mean, what else are we all going to be doing on a frozen wasteland that is Alberta this month? I mean, we've gotten a ton of snow in the province. It's good to see. I mean, southern Alberta, it melts quick, but we need that snow. We need a good season for the farmers next year, and obviously with the carbon emission taxes and stuff coming off, I don't want to talk politics, but Alberta's ready to boom again, baby, and there ain't nothing more I like than Alberta driving the engine of Canada. So, especially when the Oilers are winning too, that's the real beauty. So let's get to it. The Jets' current schedule: 7 games in 11 days, 6 to 7 games on the road. Played last night at home. That's what's happening with these Jets. They're tired. How did I miss that detail? All right, here we go. Let's get her rolling here. 13:56 to go in this second period. Play 19 shots for the Oilers. They've scored on 5 of them. Here we go. Off the face-off, chipped off the glass. Out to center. Here's Nugent Hopkins leading over to Connor McDavid. Onside is Zach Hyman. A terrible play by McDavid back to Emerson, though. And here we go. Let's see what we can do. As the Oilers see the Jets enter the zone in on net, the Jets are turned aside by the stick of Nugent Hopkins, and then off the boots of Hyman and into the Jets' territory. 13:13 to go, or 13:33 to go here in this second period play. The Oilers in full control. You absolutely love to see it. Jets steaming in. Here's Connor loading up a shot off a stick out of play. We are 27-ish minutes into this hockey game, and the Oilers have held the Winnipeg Jets to 6 shots on net. How do you like that? And look at that old lumber there from Stuart Skinner. That is a beauty of a CCM stick. Oh my goodness, let's go. That's a stick I would love to pick up over to the old store right there. As Tyler, Tyler's upset about his Winnipeg Jets not doing a good job. And it's great to see that it's snowing in Edmonton as well. Here's a pass from Sandberg. The Jets trying to load up a shot. It's again blocked by the Oilers. Turned aside by Mangiapane twice over to Henrique. Fired into the Oilers territory. Milic in behind the net. It'll be picked up by the Winnipeg Jets. They'll look into the corner to try and exit the zone. Up the boards now onto the tape of Perfetti. Perfetti will lead into the zone. Coming out to cut it off is Stu Skinner. This is where it gets hairy. Skinner behind his own net. Turns it over. He's down and out, but the Oilers, they've had a good game at recovering when it's been in trouble, and they have done exactly that. Here is Regula. Battles a check. Wins the puck, and Henrique will fire it to the blue line. Get it out for Janmark. It'll be just enough for the Jets to keep it alive, and then a missed poke there by Kulak. Nurse, costly there as it's fired back in by the Jets. Regula, though, behind his own net, able to come up with it. 12:23 to go here in this second period of play. 19-6 the shots on net for the Oilers. It's starting to slow up. The Jets are starting to get their boots moving a little bit here, and the Oilers in behind their own net are looking to try and get this going as this gets to the far side boards. Trying to get down to the middle. Cut off there again by the Oilers defense. Regula. Jets just cannot get to the middle of the ice against the Oilers tonight. This one battling around the near side of the net in the corner area. And again, the Oilers are pushed to the front of the net. And a save by Skinner. And now it's going to get nasty between Nurse and Barron. And everybody's going to grab a dance partner here. Just a hold and clutch. No gloves flying yet. 11:55 to go in this second period. The Jets starting to get chances on net, but Stu Skinner standing tall, getting the job done here in this period of play so far, as things are looking good. As I think we are going to have a line change here for the Oilers, and we're going to watch this replay where, again, the Jets just kind of pushed it down low and tried to wrap it around the net, and Stu Skinner just off of the body, and Nurse able to jump on that puck and make the save. As, hey, it's been a good hockey game. Skinner's got 7 saves. So, now, hey, if he gives up a goal on this next one, it's about what he's been doing all year, and it's fine. So the Oilers up 5-0. Need to keep it going here as the pedal to the floor needs to be established again. Connor McDavid's line probably going to jump over here on the next shift as the fourth line on the ice for the cream side right now as Kulak loses the puck handle behind his own net. He just never kind of won the puck cleanly there and just kind of let it drift away from him. Frederick looking to pass this one up the middle. Here's Lazar dancing into the zone. Morrissey in behind the net. He's stapled there by Lazar. 11:24 to go in this second period of play. Cut out by the middle of the ice. Morrissey again in the central area around the Oilers logo is able to get a few passes connected. And here's Velarde across the line for the Jets. He'll lift it down low to Taves. Cut there by Amberson. Oilers on the end wall, digging away at it, trying to find that puck free. It'll be picked up, and Savoy will tangle it up there. So the second line comes out instead. And then Drysdale, a weird burger flipper, just gets it over to Kulak. Kind of no man's land there on that puck, and Kulak skated into it, thankfully, as it'll be rimmed around with the Jets inside their own zone on the Oilers' entry. And Kulak at the clearance by the Jets picks it up in the neutral zone. Ekholm over to Draisaitl. Oilers looking to get this puck going north in a hurry as they're going to pick it over to Ekholm. Draisaitl with that pass as it's now Bouchard to Draisaitl. Draisaitl dances around, tries to sift it over to Ekholm onside. That play's beautiful all of a sudden. Draisaitl's taken down, no penalty on the play, only a penalty per side so far in this hockey game as Colson picks it over now for Savoy. Draisaitl tips it back to the blue line. Ekholm, he wasn't guarding the line. 10:13 to go as Ekholm will load up Nugent Hopkins. Here's the top line for the Oilers on the ice now. Hyman onside. Nugent Hopkins spins off 2 players, gets it over to McDavid. McDavid through traffic in on net. Ooh, just could not elevate that puck. And then Hyman's giving Milic the what-for business with his stick tangle up. Here's McDavid in on net trying to backhand it over to Hyman for the easy tippity tap. Couldn't quite do it. 9:49 to go in this second period of play. Stapled against the boards there. And Bouchard will come back and collect it inside his own zone. The Oilers just stapled somebody, as it is all right, as here comes McDavid loading up again on the ice across the blue line for the Jets, as he will play it back to Nurse. Nurse down the right wing, plays it in front, tipped through traffic off the stick of Nugent Hopkins. Back to the blue line, it goes for Regula. Back to Nugent Hopkins. This top line's been cooking all night. Here's Nurse back down low to Regula, who will skate behind the net with it. Regula's an active D-man. I love that about him. Shot fired wide of the net, and that will escape the zone, as playing point was Nugent Hopkins. He'll backhand it towards the Oilers line, but it's the Jets. I think they're offside here, so Stu Skinner knows he has time. Leaves it up there for Regula, who will take it, skate it up out of the zone. He'll pass to the near side boards across the line. The Oilers tip it in. That was Janmark getting it in the zone for the Oilers, as he will create chaos on a stick check of Morgan Barron. 8:43 to go. Behind the net it goes for the Jets. They're looking to move it out. Morrissey near side. Pionk. Now Morrissey again. He'll fire it around the boards inside the Oilers territory. Kulak off the wall trying to find this one. It's, well, Barron again poking at it there. He's got Henrique tangled up as well. Emerson with the puck. They're playing, as I said, in his 100th NHL game for the Edmonton Oilers. So Ty Emberson, he really struggled to get in the lineup early this year, but he is in there now, and he's playing a lot of minutes for the Oilers every single night, it feels like, as obviously the injury still persists to Jake Wallman. Kulak over to the far side, picking it up. The Oilers will look to gun up the ice here in a hurry. It deflects off the skates. Mangiapane loads up Janmark, who tries to sift the shot through traffic, couldn't quite do it. The Oilers, Henrique taps it back to the blue line for Bouchard. Over to the far side, a little tip in there by the Oilers to just get it down deep. We'll see where this goes now. Near side, Pionk exits the zone for Taves. Taves will see Lazar pick it up for Tomashek. Tomashek across the line. He's got Frederick. Frederick's dancing with that puck. Big body out there protecting. Here's Lazar. This line's already got a goal tonight, by the way, as Curtis Lazar's picked up one goal in this second period to make it 5-0. The lone goal for the Oilers in this second period, as this will be backhanded down low. Here's Bouchard. 7:20 to go in this second period of play. Back to the blue line it goes. DeMello collides with an Oilers player in Lazar. Frederick takes it on. Backhands it off the end wall. Up the boards it goes into the middle of the ice. And this will be picked up by Matthias Ekholm. Over now to Curtis Lazar. Over to Tomashek. It'll be forced in by the Oilers, where Frederick's going to come chasing in. He can't finish on DeMello. And the Jets will get across the Oilers line just like that. Big pass from their own zone. Here's a opportunity to get it in, and a shot by Scheifele, and yeah, you can't blame Skinner on that one. Scheifele's got a deadly shot up over the shoulder, elevates in a hurry, and scores to make it 5-1. And I mean, that's Mark Scheifele's a beauty. I'm not going to argue that goal at all. But is it offside by the Jets? And I think it is. At the end of the day, that might be an offside call. Quickly, the broadcast zooms to that. So we might just have gotten a little bit lucky here, as the Edmonton Oilers see the Jets offside on an eyelash, and Iafallo just couldn't hold the line. So we'll have a stop and play, friends, to possibly review that one as we get going here. So it's going to be offside for the Jets. So no goal quickly there, ruled in the building. Hopefully. Sorry, I thought the crowd was buzzing. I thought we were good to go, so it's okay. As Situation Room is looking things over. All right, friends, again, if you are new to the channel right now as we review this goal, consider hitting that subscribe button. Pushing towards 20,000 here on the channel this year, as we'd love to close it out on New Year's Eve for the Canada game against whoever that is at the World Juniors and win that 20,000 mark. So thanks for being aboard here tonight. Appreciate you hanging out. It's been a great hockey game so far. The Oilers currently up 5-1 on the Jets. It's about to be back to 5-0, I believe, as the officials have the call. They'll go to center ice here in front of the timekeeper's box. And here's the announcement. Plays offside, baby. No goal. The Oilers will maintain it going. 5-0 with 6:50 to go in this second period. Who's to fault Stu Skinner now? Big go there as we get it rolling here for this Edmonton Oilers squad. As a clearly offside play for the Jets. Iafallo, I mean, I maybe would have questioned that live, but you have to follow the play, unfortunately, and that's kind of where it is at. Scheifele was able to just elevate over Stu's glove shoulder there. Stu was down and a little bit too rushed, but hey, we'll take it. 6:56. Face-off is inside the Jets zone now. 6:54 to go as the puck bounces to the blue line and into the bench of the Oilers. 19 shots on goal, 8 for the Jets. So Stu Skinner, now improving that save percentage little bit by little bit with every following shot here in this hockey game. It looks like we will go to commercial break. Friends, thank you so much for being aboard here tonight. Right now on 133 votes, 89% of you have probably correctly guessed that the Oilers will win this hockey game for tonight's action. Sorry, clutched up there for a second. I think obviously what the Oilers need to do is just keep pounding the net here in this hockey game. Win 7 goals, 8 goals. They've got another period yet. They got another few minutes at least in this hockey game to try and score 2 more goals before the end of the second period to really try and take things home. Again, if you're missing the assists on that goal from Curtis Lazar, it was Matthias Janmark from Ty Emberson, Lazar's second of the season. Earlier in the game, it was Nuge from McDavid, Hyman, Draisaitl from Bouchard, Matt Savoy from Matthias Ekholm and Vasily Podkolzin, Bouchard from Dry and McDavid, and then Curtis Lazar, as I said, from Janmark and Emberson. And that's, my friends, how we are at 5 on the board for the Edmonton Oilers here this evening. So keep it going. That's really all you can hope the Oilers do the rest of the way home in this game. We just got lucky with an offside challenge, so now you got to deliver the results the rest of the way home, or the Jets might feel like climbing back into this one a little bit, and I don't feel like letting them, so let's just avoid that outcome at all costs here if we're the Edmonton Oilers here in this second and third period. So as we carry on, obviously Stuart Skinner, as I said, so far so good. 8 shots against the Oilers, 19 shots on goal. They've been out-hit 22-2, but tonight's a game where at the end of the day, you almost stop hitting just so as you don't bump yourself up in what is a runaway hockey game so far for the Oilers, at least through what is now, a 5-0 lead. Connor McDavid, points recorded last 2 games, 4 versus Seattle, 2 against Winnipeg. Same with Draisaitl, same. Bouchard was very close. Here we go across the line and out of the zone. The Winnipeg Jets, 6:45 to go. The shot fired towards the net. That's another save for the one, the only, Stu Skinner. So he continues to get the job done here tonight for the Oilers. You love to see it. A good job done for Stu Skinner would be absolutely fantastic. And you see a little bit of battle in there as Draisaitl trying to just get off of Morgan Barron, and then Stu Skinner coming up with the big save. That glove's been good so far tonight. 6:42 to go here in this second period. Draisaitl's kicked out of the face-off dot. Matt Savoy will come in and take the draw. And this is also a nice little alternative for the Oilers with Savoy on the line with, of course, Draisaitl, just because Savoy's a guy capable at the pro level of taking face-offs for you. The Jets try to stretch the Oilers, and it'll be an icing call with 6:29 to go in this second period of play. So keep it rolling, boys. Let's keep seeing what we can do here in this second period. 5-0. I don't want it to get sleepy, but I just cannot believe the Oilers in their last, now 5 periods have scored 14 goals. That seems unbelievable the way this season's been going. On the road, the Oilers are 6-8-3 so far this year. At home, 6-3-2, about to be 7-3-2, and about to pick up a clutch 2 points here against the Jets. I know there's 26 minutes of hockey to go, but it just doesn't feel like the Oilers are going to blow this one tonight. Jets trying to turn this one up in a hurry. Bouchard sees it escape the zone. Here's Ekholm inside his own territory. He's going to see the Jets forecheck enough for him to force it over to Nugent Hopkins, who comes away with the puck inside his own zone. He'll pivot back at the blue line and look to spin around off the check of a Jets defender, and then Ekholm sets up a little bit of a pick on Nemeshnikov to allow the Oilers to get it over to Bouchard. Now gunning it up off the skates of Hyman is Ekholm. Hyman just doesn't quite seem to have the same boots as he did last year, but he'll get those legs pumping as the season goes on. Here's Ekholm across the line now onside for the Oilers. They'll pivot a move on the Jets defender. This will be flipped by the by the Jets into the Oilers zone. Bouchard picks it up. He's going to flip off glass, try to home run it off the glass for the Oilers. McDavid off. Nugent Hopkins able to get it there. Here's Hyman. Stick is lifted. Shots towards the net. It goes wide of Milic, who's now in net for the Winnipeg Jets. It was Eric Comrie who obviously was taken out of the game following the 4-0 first period. The Oilers chipped along the boards here to Nugent Hopkins. Nuge will take contact, try and make a play off it. Is battling along the wall as McDavid. The Jets have it free to the middle. A nice play by Bouchard to get the skate down and prevent that chance from getting any worse, as the Oilers can't get it out of the zone here. Far side boards. Lowry flips it down low to Taves. McDavid absolutely erases Taves. Former playoff foes. You got to remember the 2020 playoffs there for the Oilers. Down the wing, here's Lazar. Lazar's battling. It's turned aside by the captain of the Jets, Adam Lowry. In behind for Morrissey. 4:39 to go in this second period of play as Mangiapane stands in front of Milic. Both players battling for a little bit of just room for Morrissey, I guess, as Mangiapane goes chasing, and Morrissey is going to be forced to ring it down the length of the ice. And that, once again, will be an icing call against the Jets. The Oilers' pressure on the Jets tonight has been absolutely fantastic. So, great to see here so far for the Oilers this evening, as hopefully things continue. And obviously the top line for the Oilers is back to cooking. And things are looking all right. All right, let's see where we go here. 5-0 for the Oilers. 4:23 to go in this second period. Play 19-8 after 27 games last year for the Jets. 14-12-1 this season. So this was the game. The Oilers, a team that's barely ahead of them in the standings overall, just needs to be won by the Oilers. A save from Stuart Skinner. Not the easiest, not the prettiest, but he gets the job done nonetheless. Here's Curtis Lazar now across the line into the Jets zone. Lazar blows a tire. He's going to recover, try to get it going for the Jets back, for the Oilers back behind the Jets net. And this is now Kulak at the point instead on the takeover, as Emerson will fire a shot towards the net, and Milic will take over there for the Jets as Shen dummies Lazar in front of the net, just barreled over him. And we'll have a stoppage in play just like that. Friends, again, if you are new to the channel, consider hitting that subscribe button here. I'd love to have you aboard. I think it's going to be a great rest of the December for the Edmonton Oilers here. They've had a fantastic go of it of late. The last 4 games now looking really good for the Oilers, right? 18 goals in 4 games so far, and this one's not done yet. And really, only 5 goals against through, what now? 10.5 periods of hockey for the Oilers. So don't mind that, as hopefully keep it rolling here against a Winnipeg Jets team which has had some chances now, right? The offside obviously was a pivotal moment in this hockey game so far, and they got to keep this rocking against the Jets here to close out this period from here on out. It's going to be interesting. But yeah, just getting an update here. Let's see. Like seeing that. As it looks like Matt Tompkins got the shutout for the Bakersfield Condors tonight, so keep that in mind. A good night for Tompkins as we go forward to the AHL standings. Let me see if I can find the AHL. Lots of football there. Griffins, Bakersfield Condors. Where are we at? Bakersfield versus Henderson. 4-0 for Bakersfield tonight. Hey, what do you say? Seth Griffith with 2 points in the first period. Atro Lepnin, Quinn Hudson also getting some points. Quinn Hudson's 13th goal. James Hamlin picks up his 6th from Riley Stillman. And Ike Howard scores his 4th from Quinn Hudson and Josh Szymanski, while Matt Tompkins pitches the shutout. Yes, sirree. I love to see it, as Patrick's asking if I'm doing the alternate jersey games. Well, maybe that'll be the pattern this year. Maybe that's what we'll tune into. I don't think I did the Mammoth game, but hey, I'll do these two. These have been beautiful games so far. Patrick, glad to have you along tonight. And yeah, hopefully the Oilers can continue what they've done here in the alternate jerseys in some other jerseys once they get out of them. Here the Oilers are down near side now. What is that? Podkolzin to Draisaitl, near side corner inside Jets territory. Draisaitl will battle it along the boards and try to keep it alive. He does. What a play by Draisaitl. What an effort, as he'll fire it off a stick to Podkolzin, who gets it to the point for Nurse, who can't get it past Pionk, who is waiting to pick off that play the whole way. 3:27 to go here in this period as the shot by Scheifele breaks the stick of Nurse, and it's blocked again though for the Oilers, as here's now Draisaitl across the center ice line. Will be picked up in the wings by Podkolzin, knocked down by Scheifele on the retreat. And with 3:10 to go here in this second period of play, the Oilers continue to control with, well, 19 shots on net. Frederick skating back the other way. What a time it would be to get Frederick a goal here. He's going to fire the shot, turned aside by Milic, but nonetheless a big shot there for Trent Frederick, as you love to see that, as Lazar off the end wall trying to get that free. He can't do it. Here come the Jets back the other way with 2:48 to go in this second period of play. Crazy to think we've got another period of play here in this hockey game. The Oilers up 5-0. Matthias Ekholm guns it ahead off the tape of Frederick. Tomaszek coming to play that puck. He can't do it now. DeMello gets it going back the other way for the Jets. Barron rushing in on it. The Oilers will see if he can turn him back at the blue line. And Emerson does the job, loses his stick in the meanwhile. And this is going to come back the other way. Here comes McDavid. McDavid across the line, over the shot by Epiphany. I read the Epiphany's comment there. By Emerson. That's where my brain was going. Misses wide. As Hyman gets going here. McDavid over to Hyman. McDavid will fire it down low for Hyman. The battle behind the net's real, as Nugent Hopkins back to the blue line. It's over now near side for Kulak. Kulak's offside. He'll fire it in. Hyman's just chilling in the Jets zone. $1:46 to go here. DeMello picks it up for the Jets inside their own territory as the period winds down now. $1:40 to go, and the Oilers just in, as we're saying in the chat, cruise control here. Battling off the end wall, back to the blue line over far side. Shen, Morrissey shot off the pads of Skinner, now up to 9 saves in the game. As it's back to the blue line, trying to get this going near side. The Oilers will battle it out to center ice. Far side pass. Sandberg, Shen, back to, not sure who that is. But not even sure who that is for the Jets. Still trying to figure out who number 62 is. Jets fired up near side, boards through center they come. $1:03 to go in this second period of play, and the game has slowed down substantially. The Oilers are not rolling around the Jets zone near as much as they were, but this is going to get this going here to the far side. Now it comes back in to the Jets territory for an icing call. There you go. 8.9 left on the clock as Draisaitl. One little scan back and a good little play there on that backhand. And you see Draisaitl, he's having himself a weird game here. He's making some plays and definitely doing some good jobs here for the Oilers, trying to obviously keep the score going in a positive direction. Regula off the end wall. Now picking it up, Mangiapane. Mangiapane will get it out to center. Clapped in there by Janmark. Morrissey inside his own territory. Pionk now. Pionk over to the far side, sees it bounce off the boards. The Jets trying to rush onto it. Regula gets it going off the end wall. And picked up by Morrissey. Morrissey will backhand towards the net. Knocked down by Savoy. Here's Draisaitl again. He'll lead forward for Nurse. Nurse in on the rush. Will shoot the puck off the blocker of Milic. And this will be Draisaitl trying to spin that puck again off the backhand. The Oilers retrieve it again in the neutral zone. Podkolzin over to Draisaitl. Second line's away with 6 seconds to go. Here's Savoy, a shot on net wildly, trying to get the one-timer going as Nurse deflects it off the blocker and can't get it on net to the back. It's just turned aside at the side of the net by Milic. And there we go. That's the end of 2. Sorry, friends. All kinds of confused. I mean, it's already 9:40. Starting to fall asleep here. The Oilers are putting me to bed in the best way possible. I'm going to take a quick TV timeout to enjoy a little bit more dinner, friends. Thank you for being aboard again. If you haven't already left a like on the stream, tonight we're up at 38. We can definitely get to 40 before the end of this intermission. Stay tuned here on Dolynny TV. Thanks for being aboard. All right, well, let's do it. The second intermission here on Dolynny TV, friends, is the Edmonton Oilers. They're dummying along tonight. Thank you so much for 40 likes on the stream, by the way. Appreciate y'all. As we get towards what is going to be the end of the night now, the third period upcoming here for the Oilers in a short little bit. They're up 5-0 over the Jets right now. What a night it's been thus far. 21-9 the shots on net for the Oilers. So they haven't shot a ton of pucks on net to be up 5-0. They've just had pretty decent efficiency. 25-3 the hits for the Jets. The Oilers, though, they're concerned about that. Not really. 17-5 the face-offs for the Oilers, or 17-15 the face-offs for the Oilers over the Jets. 15-8 the giveaways. Again, if the Oilers clean up the giveaways in the third period and play the rest of it in the offensive zone, it could be a really nasty thing for the Winnipeg Jets, that's for sure. Ryan Nugent-Hopkins, Draisaitl, Savoy, Bouchard, the goals in that first period to play. And then Curtis Lazar from Matthias Janmark and Ty Emberson. You love to see that the depth scorers factored in. You love to see that Podkolzin and Ekholm and Savoy factored in on a goal together. There are a lot of positives that this Edmonton Oilers team is going to take away from this hockey game. That much is for sure. So as we continue along here on the broadcast tonight, friends, just want to make mention we've been absolutely dummying it in anticipation of what is going to be the 2026 World Juniors, and a fun time to be live on stream again for the World Juniors, which is always a good time here on the channel. We're looking pretty good. Everybody's kind of coming out of the woodwork here again on the stream, so glad to see that. And then we're going to get back to regular business here in no time flat. So the Oilers, obviously, doing their best case of the scoring here so far tonight, and hopefully it keeps rolling for us the rest of the way home. Just trying to see if there's anything else. Obviously, the Heritage Classic will be on October 25th. Yeah, so we'll see. We'll see what happens. Yeah. Shutout, obviously, for the Bakersfield Condors tonight. It is 2-1 for the Bisons after 2 for the Cold Lake Ice. And then first goal Jesper Wallstedt allowed against a Canadian team this year was against the Vancouver Canucks. And Tom Wielander, he had shutout Calgary, Winnipeg, and Edmonton. 107th shot against Canada. Beat him right there. So there you have it. And yeah, so it's been a good night to be an Oilers fan, I have to say, right? Matt Tompkins has had a pretty good performance, so we'll see what happens. Thank you so much, Art. Appreciate that again. As friends, everybody's, like I said, back in the stream, back in the saddle, as Luke Combs would say, as it's been awesome to get back to hockey again finally, and just slowing down after what's been an absolutely unbelievable, crazy year at work. I mean, We'll see what it all amounts out to at the end of the year, but I think that our higher ups at work will be pretty happy with what we have done in the year 2025. So as we continue on the stream, friends, I think it's going to be a good night to be an Edmonton Oilers fan at the end of the next 20 minutes of play. I think, again, tonight is similar to the issue we had with Seattle. No matter how the third period finishes, as long as the Oilers win in some convincing fashion. I said win 5-2. If they win 5-2, it's still a victory. But I would say the big thing here is it just comes down to a situation for the Oilers that dictates that you played a good game. I took the longest way possible. Good game no matter what from the Oilers. The offense explodes again. The depth scoring is there, not to the extent we'd love it to be there, but it's there. The top six continues to get the job done without Jack Roslovic, and this team is only going to get deeper as the season goes on. The options available to this team, that's something we knew about this team this year, especially after we signed Jack Roslovic, is how much deeper this team was going to be as the season wore on and got healthier and different bodies got in the lineup. So I'm loving what we're seeing so far, and we'll see if we see it continue here tonight. So we're looking forward to seeing the Oilers get it done, as we are going to see what happens here after the third period of play. We're still on commercial break right now. Art, again, thank you so much. Appreciate that as we look to see this third period wrap up with a nice, beautiful bow. another bowl of soup in the stomach by the end of the game, and then yeah, play some chill, play some Battlefield, and see how the night shakes out from there as we carry on here on Dolynny TV. First up, though, we got to get a post game up and posted for tonight's edition, the nightcap. I really don't think there's anything that jumps out at you, is there? I think other than the Oilers dummying the Jets. Darcy Kemper getting a shutout for the LA Kings. So the Kings, after their controversy over the past 2 days, responding with a win today. That's good to see for them. I mean, Ken Holland and all. I mean, you never want to see that guy get fired. He's good enough to do something, right? Yeah, so that's kind of where we're just rolling. I mean, we're about to hit 10 o'clock, so pardon me if I fall asleep on stream. 10 o'clock's a hard time to get to nowadays. And hopefully things, again, a little bit more lively. That end of that second period started slowing down for both teams a little bit there, so hopefully things get a little bit more lively out there. And as I'm saying, like, the Oilers are getting run out of the building in the hit category, but it really doesn't matter because the Oilers are running the Jets out of the building in the score goal column, whatever you want to call it. So that's kind of where we're at right now, as things are looking all right. And I'd love to see the Oilers keep that up here the rest of the way home this evening. So yeah, I mean, now the question is, if the Oilers win this game, now that's 3 out of the last, 4. Stuart Skinner, please finish this one strong. And then that's 3 out of the last 4 for him that have been strong. And then as well, you start getting closer and closer towards what could really, really be a special time to be an Edmonton Oilers fan the rest of the way home in this season, right? Darcy, good evening to you. See another familiar face joining the chat here tonight. But for the Oilers, if they can get the job done, and Thunders, thank you so much. Appreciate that as well. As yeah, definitely appreciate you guys throwing down the super chats. That's something that kind of went away last year on the channel. I think I just wasn't live enough, and we didn't really interact very much live. And now all of a sudden this year we're crushing the live streams again over the last few days, and glad to be back live and aboard for what's been absolutely fun to watch the Oilers do what they're doing thus far. So Thunders and Art, thank you so much as the Oilers continue on, hopefully through March and what will be a very impactful in the standings December. And then don't forget, we got the World Juniors at the end of the month, where we'll take a break from live streaming the Oilers and enjoy the fact that, hey, you know what, we're going to go out there and get the job done for Team Canada for the next little bit. So see how that shakes out as the sledge hockey teams there for the US and Team Canada battling it out. Toast, see, we're talking about everybody coming back on the live streams tonight. Love to see this for sure. As Red Wings and Flames on Wednesday night this week. That'll be a big matchup, 6:30 p.m. As Toast, good to see you. And Darcy, the Pittsburgh goalie swap is dead. Unless something's changed in the last 30 minutes, I do not believe so. I think Elliot Friedman said that it's just very complicated, which again, any of my sources that have been telling me things continue to say it's just too complicated to pull off right now. Pittsburgh's holding out for really the best offer to get that retention situation figured out. So again, we'll see what happens. But I think right now the big thing is the Oilers are getting goaltending. 5 goals against in the last 10 periods of hockey. The Oilers are going to win a lot of hockey games giving up that many goals in 10 periods. So great to see. So yeah, and obviously as well, I want to say Quinn Hudson doing some great things down there in the AHL for the Oilers. Hudson is going to be, quite honestly, if he percolates in the minors all year for the Oilers, Hudson will be the guy that replaces Jack Roslovic next year. I think Roslovic, A, is going to price himself out of Edmonton with the way he's playing. B, the Oilers would love to spend less cap on the same player, that being Quinn Hudson for the Oilers, coming in place of Jack Roslovic. So that would be absolutely fantastic to see. And the Oilers are building some really good talent in the pipeline, and things are starting to look really, really good at the AHL level for the Bakersfield Condors. Again, if they could figure out the road schedule, life would be a lot better, but that's where it's at for that's where it's at. So the Oilers are jumping into the final frame here. We're about to get going. Art and Thunders, thank you again so much for the super chats as we get things going here in this what will be third period of play coming up, as the Oilers desperately need to finish this one. And you know where Stuart Skinner's sitting tonight? You'd love to see him sit in the same spot by the end of said night, as the Oilers would love to cap off what's been a good hockey game thus far with the exclamation mark. And Stu Skinner, twice out of the last 3 times, moving up the leaderboards for the Oilers all time. I don't see why you don't like everything about that. I know everybody has their struggles with Stu. I do too. But yeah, I gotta say it's going to be fantastic if we can get the job done. And Toast, I think right now everybody's favorite Oilers jersey, and I'm quite a big fan. I've been a big fan of this jersey since it got revealed as the new alternate jersey. I think the Oilers going as off the board as they did to the cream, which matches exactly with the Hamlin up there. It looks so great. And the Oilers obviously going with a different look on it than the Condors jersey, which is nice to see as well. It's just, man, I don't know. It's going to be a special jersey if we keep winning there. That's for sure. And Art, I'm glad to keep you up. And again, this is the other thing too. I know 880 Ched, especially if you're across southern Alberta, doesn't work as well. I know there's the online radio players and stuff, but glad that if you choose to tune into the radio, you kind of use me instead of the radio from 880 Ched. That's awesome. And ultimately, just glad to help out everybody stay in touch with the Oilers as much as possible. I know that's kind of the hard part about me missing the playoffs last year and me skipping out on live streams to start this year and most of the regular season last year. But again, life comes first, priorities come first, and now here we are, rocking and rolling. And I quite enjoyed my playoff run for the Oilers. It was just fantastic to sit there with all my friends and enjoy it. I watched the first round with my brother, watched the second, third round, fourth round with my friends Rach and Troy, and it was just fantastic to hang out and enjoy what was a special run for the Oilers that came up, again, just short. So they're showing the hug from Pickard and Skinner after the last game. Pickard comes up tough after letting in that last goal. Stu's pumping him up. Hey, bud, you only gave up 3 tonight. I know you gave up 4, but that's just a tough finish if I'm asking you. So here we go. We're going to go for the face-off at center ice. Draisaitl loses it back. The Jets on the back half of a back-to-back. What do they got in the tank for the last 19 minutes and 50 seconds as Regula shows up behind his own net. This will be punched back by the Oilers opponent, the Jets, into the Oilers territory. Regula will roll up the zone. Here's Podkolzin trying to lead out for Savoy. Can't do it. Podkolzin's going to get a second attempt. Instead, he's going to bang it off the end wall to Regula. Regula around behind the Oilers net will go to the far side. Podkolzin there. He's going to lift into the center ice area. Jets knock it down. Draisaitl. And a penalty-less game so far, despite the 2 in the first period. Like, this has been a really well-officiated, well-played game from both sides. 19:14 to go. Couldn't get the stick lift for Draisaitl, so all of a sudden the Oilers eventually flipped it in on Milic. He clears out. It's at center ice right in front of Louis DeBrusk right now as the Jets will go across to the far side. 19:01 to go in this third period as time winds down on the Winnipeg Jets rather quickly here tonight. Jets will fire it into the Oilers territory. Here's Ekholm off the end wall over to Bouchard. Back now behind the net for the Jets. The shot comes up over top of the net. Missed wide on the glove of Skinner, and then a pad save from the point as the Jets finally get their 10th shot of the night. The Oilers out to center here now is Connor McDavid jutting in on net over to over to Ekholm, who couldn't receive the pass. That just feels natural to say that's Nugent Hopkins right there. As the Oilers will pick up, here is Stanley. He's going to fire into the far side corner for the Oilers as Ekholm picks up, and it's now Nugent Hopkins over near side for Hyman. Sorry, is that Emerson? Well, that's Emerson. Jeez, all kinds of confused I am. As the Jets are able to punch it up the wall, it's turned over. Here's a shot by Mangiapane, turned aside by the leg of a defender for the Jets. Now Janmark in there to poke that one along the wall. The Jets continued it rolling, and the Oilers trying to battle this one free as that'll be off the wall for Mangiapane. Mangiapane spins through traffic. Ultimately, the Jets are able to free him up there, and it'll be coming back into the Oilers' territory. Kulak against the end wall against Nemeshnikov. Ooh, get going too fast right there, as this one is going to go back the other way. And across the line, the Jets turn back the Oilers. Morrissey in the neutral territory. He's going to punch it into the near side corner. Oilers behind their own net. Well, Nurse and Lazar got tangled up. That leaves Regula on the little flip by Nurse to get Frederick going up along the wall. It'll work. The Oilers get out to center. That's about it. DeMello gathers up at his own blue line for the Jets. Morrissey now with the puck. He'll play it back to DeMello inside his own zone at the face-off dot. Jets across the Oilers' blue line in a hurry and pushing forward, trying to get it going. No arm up. The wave is going at Rogers Place tonight. As Morrissey gets it down low. And this will be picked up by the Jets to the far side. Is nice play by Regula late in the shift to try and keep it rolling as this puck goes over to the far side for DeMello again at his blue line on the clear by the Oilers. Morrissey up through center to the Oilers blue line, flipped in by the Jets. Skinner out to play it, leaves it for Bush. Bush will look behind the net. He's gonna head fake a few times, try and find that stretch pass, and maybe he will. Instead, he turns it over. The shot by Connor goes wide of the net, and how many times have we watched Kyle Connor score on the Oilers from there? That was a look down Main Street, a gift from Bouchard, and still couldn't score it as Savoy away with Podkolzin. Podkolzin can't get it to Savoy, and then Savoy flips it on the double bounce to Draisaitl, who just couldn't pull the trigger on a bouncing puck in the middle of the ice. Here across the line, Scheifele sees it pushed back by the Oilers, and here's Draisaitl not realizing he has all time to play that puck. He's going to roll it up against the wall. The Oilers are going to line change here. Jets are going to clear the zone and get up in a hurry. Here's Connor. Connor dances Bouchard. 2 misplays by Bouchard in this period, and it leads to the back of the net. Tough go. There you have it. The Jets score. It's 5-1. And Stuart Skinner's streak of 50 shots stops right there. He's allowed 2 on 52. Still a pretty good number, but yeah, Bouchard just kind of Bouchards there on the last little bit of a sequence, and Draisaitl didn't activate on a puck quick enough, and Kyle Connor is able to tic-tac-toe as that comes way out of the picture, and it's back to Velarde to score the goal. All right, so 15:48 to go in this third period play. Gabe Velarde's 13th of the season. He's having a decent year, huh? As it's going to be picked up by the Jets off the face-off. They're going to flip. That's just the Oilers have not really attacked this third period with gusto so far, but they're up 4 goals with 15.5 to go. It should be cruise control from here still, as the Jets will flip in again. Maybe getting that 6th goal might be the right idea here for the Oilers. Break the back of the Jets and finish it off with about 12 minutes to go in the third period. Emerson, he's going to bounce it out to center ice, and the Oilers just seem to be stagnant trying to get across the Jets' blue line here in this third period of play. The Jets now across the Oilers' line, looking to twist it back towards the blue line. Can't do it. Instead, they flip into the corner for Lowry. Now it comes back to the blue line. The shot from the Jets turned aside by Skinner, and it's worked out by the Oilers rather quickly off the rebound, as here's now McDavid sifting over to Hyman. The shot in front, and here's where the Oilers maybe are falling apart after scoring 5. They're trying to get everybody in on the action, and that one's sifting through from Hyman and Nuge, who already has a goal, but just a little bit too much. Just shoot. As this one's going to come now for Hyman. He's going to be battled. The legs, like I said, not working quite as well as maybe they normally do, as a dog pile there in the middle of the ice in the Jets zone. Leads to a puck coming out for Josh Morrissey. He's going to come across to the far side. Scheifele is going to try and pass this one right in, and what a lateral move there from Skinner to be right up and ready for that one. What a save there. Now up over a 900 save percentage for Stu. Another save there on the kick pad, shoveling off the post, and this is now 12 shots for the Jets and 11 saves for Stu. So here we go. Jets in behind their own net. Stanley to the far side. Puck up into the Oilers territory now. And that will be an icing call against the Winnipeg Jets. 13:57 to go in this third period play. If the Jets get another one before the 10-minute mark, I'm concerned. If not, hey, we should be able to walk this one home. No issue, no problem the rest of the way. So the Oilers doing a good job at least of, making sure the saves are semi-easy for Stu tonight. The high danger chance ends up in the back of the net. I know that the other one there, the Scheifele laser beam, ruled no goal, so it's all good. But here's now a puck that bounces out of the zone. Ty Amberson's going to come up with it for Brett Kulak. As it's going to be fired in by Lazar. Picked up. Milic is going to go across to the far side. As this is going to be fired now back into the neutral zone. The Oilers are going to force the hammer back inside Jets territory. 13.5 to go in this third period of play. Pionk, just an uncharacteristic misplay of the puck, is now under duress inside his own zone. And Pearson's going to have to come away with this one for Barron. Barron across the line, turning his Kulak, who decides to engage the body instead. Who knows what's going on there? As the Jets come up with the puck, the shot, glove save. I've said the glove's been good for Stu tonight. How about that? 13th shot of the night for the Jets is turned aside by the one, the only, Stuart Skinner. So that's where we're at right now. The Oilers continue to dominate here tonight. Friends, it's been a good night for the Oilers. I know we just gave up a goal, but again, if you are new to the channel, I'd also tell you, if you haven't already, consider hitting that subscribe button here on Dolynny TV this evening. I'd love to have you aboard as a regular viewer, especially for these live streams, if they're going to become a little bit more regular as well. So Stuart Skinner starting to have himself a night. He was already having a bit of a night, but now all of a sudden coming up with some large saves here after giving up that goal just a moment ago. So Stu Skinner, hey, you know what? Have yourself a night. Why not? As we are doing all right here against the Jets, 5-1, right? We've already been there once tonight, so it's not like it's the end of the world. We'll be okay. We'll get through. And the Oilers just need to keep rolling along here. That's the thing. Score that next goal and life will be good. Gabe Vilardi from who and who, you ask? Mark Scheifele and Kyle Connor. Yeah, that'll happen. That's the top line of the Winnipeg Jets for you. Again, if you're just tuning in, Nugent Hopkins, Draisaitl, Savoy, Bouchard, and Lazar, the goal scorers for the Oilers so far tonight. So things are looking half okay this evening, and hopefully it continues that way because we're looking okay. Curtis Lazar scoring his second of the season. Matthias Janmark picking up points in back-to-back games. So yeah, that's what we like to see. So hopefully things continue here on this rest of the way home. So see what happens. So now, 750, the jackpot for the 50-50. We'll see if old Oilers can give us something to buy some 50-50s about. That seems like an Edmonton Oilers fan thing to do. Jets top line last 21 games, 26 points for Connor, 26 for Scheifele, and 21 for Vilardi. So life is looking good for these Winnipeg Jets. They're starting to come around as well, and if the Oilers can, keep them off the board the rest of the way, that would be absolutely dandy, that's for sure. Face off down. Here's Regula inside the Oilers zone. Savoy threw a little bit of the body and was able to get the job done there, so that's good. 13:03 to go. Here is a nice play there by Podkolzin to stick with it. As here we go. Picked up. The Jets out into their blue line area. They're going to turn it over to Draisaitl. Far side, here's Savoy, who's had a very hot last 2 games, that's for sure. He's been looking really good. Draisaitl behind the net. He will try and shield off Morrissey. Back to the blue line. Here's Regula. Far side, Nurse fires the shot through traffic. Save made in front. And Milic was able to kick that one onto the stick of Mark Scheifele, who walks all the way to the Oilers zone. Here's Morrissey downtown. Flipped up on that puck and then turned it over. And here's Savoy trying to gun up to the far side for Leon Draisaitl, who didn't get that cleanly, but he was able to clip it in to the Jets zone nonetheless. 23 shots on goal now for the Edmonton Oilers here in this one. 12 minutes to go in the third period. So like I said, the Oilers just need to keep the Jets off the board for the next 2 minutes or score another goal in the next 2 minutes. Here's Sandberg sifting into the Oilers territory, as that'll be a nice play by Ekholm to bounce it out into the neutral, but Hyman turned around, couldn't load it up on his backhand, and this puck instead lands on Connor McDavid's stick after a couple of pinballs. Bouchard under duress leaves it for McDavid, who will take his time to make a pass through the neutral zone, load up Ekholm and Nugent Hopkins alongside Zach Hyman. As here's Ekholm trying to feed back in front. He's taken along the end wall. He'll get it back to the blue line for Bouchard. Back to Nuge, down low to Hyman, and Hyman's been fighting it tonight, I will tell you that. He has not looked sharp at all this evening, but Zach Hyman's coming back from a pretty significant injury, so keep that in mind as well. 11:18 to go in the third period of play. Ekholm up now to Andrew Mangiapane speeding in on the zone. He's going to be poke checked by the Jets defense. Nemeshnikov's going to get this puck going in the positive direction for Connor. Connor looking to drive this one deep. Perfetti out there against Kulak and Henrique. Emerson with the puck will lose the battle to the Jets. Perfetti comes back now to the blue line. Stanley over to the far side. The shot Pionk through traffic. Deflects wide of the net and then bounces right back out in front. Kulak able to throw it out of the zone into Jets territory rather smoothly. 40 seconds to go until we're comfortably home with 10 minutes to go in this third period of play. As the Jets inside their own territory. Pionk with the puck. Comes over to the near side. Here's Barron across the line. Barron driving towards the net. Turned aside by the Oilers defense in the middle again. The Oilers have only opened up in the middle of the ice twice. It's gone in the back of the net both times for the Jets. Like we know, they're a dangerous team. One was ruled offside. The other is the lone tally for Gabe Vilardi. This puck to the far side for Darnell Nurse. He'll backhand it across near side corner for Regula. Taken in there by two Winnipeg Jets. Pearson is digging in there trying to get it free. He's going to get it free, and ultimately for Sandberg, who loads up the one-timer. It's blocked by Tomaszek, selling out for that one. Easy night to sell out to block shots tonight when you are keeping the Jets off the board and you have 5 in your column. 9:44 to go here in this third period of play. Jets' biggest push of the game so far has come in this third period of play as Nurse behind the net will push it over to Regula, who will backhand ahead for Lazar. Lazar trying to get this rolling against the boards. It'll be pushed back into the Oilers zone. Regula rode his man down, and the puck will tip off glass and out of play. And here's Regula messing it up with Morrissey, and now Scheifele and everybody come to mug Regula, and it's going to get nasty. Is finally a little bit of shuffling here from everybody, and now Nurse has 2 men tangled as he's got Vilardi, and here comes Frederick against Scheifele. Frederick quickly realizes who he's got in hand, and this one's going to calm down rather quietly here as Regula got a glove off in the mixture at some point. But the Oilers, a little bit of emotion there for the first time all game. Really getting into the troubles, and Frederick and Scheifele still holding hands, making sure they're keeping things alive as Regula kind of rode Scheifele hard into the boards. And Scheifele didn't really like that, Morrissey especially. And then, of course, Darnell Nurse had to come support his D partner. So that's where we find ourselves here as see what the Oilers can do here in the third period of play. We continue to roll along here on Dolynny TV. Sorry, friends. For some reason, keep losing stream little by little here. Anyway, the Oilers scoring so far. Nuge, Draisaitl, Savoy, Bouchard, Lazar, Vilardi for the Jets. If you're just tuning in, it's 5-1 for the Edmonton Oilers here tonight. Appreciate you being along for the ride. It's been a good hockey game thus far. And again, friends, the Oilers at least looking alive in the goal-scoring department for the first time really all season, back-to-back games. 14 goals in 2 games so far. And the Oilers, they'd love to make it 6. The Jets will, it appears, be on the power play here coming up as, what is the penalty? It's, I think it'll be 4-on-4, sorry. Alec Regula and Josh Morrissey, 2 each for roughing as we get this one going. So we're just going to deal with that. As we have what the Oilers have done so far tonight, it's been good. It's not been great in the last 2 periods. The first period was absolutely stellar. The start of the second was okay with the Lazar goal, but everything since has kind of been downward trending for the Edmonton Oilers. So would be nice to see them kind of start speeding up here as we close out tonight's hockey night in Canada. 10:15. Regula's taking a quick body armor break as Regula and Morrissey sit a little bit here, and Regula's had a big impact on this game. Like, Regula ultimately, when the Oilers figure it out, is going to be the best bottom 6 defender the Oilers can possibly have on the right side. Ty Emerson, he's great. He's a great defensive replacement, but ultimately, I think Regula, the big body, the hard physical hits, kind of replaces what we lost losing Vinny Desharnais. And he's also got a little bit of offensive flair, so that's where it's at, as this one continues to battle here. And we'll see what happens here for the face-off outside the Oilers zone. Sandberg Off the draw, gets it back into the Jets territory. 4-on-4 for the next minute 50. As this across the line, here's Sandberg in on net. He's going to see it move to the far side corner. Picked up by Ekholm. Here's now McDavid loading up Draisaitl. McDavid trying to get to the middle. Draisaitl drifts it towards there. McDavid just way past the puck by the time it happened. Here we go. Now the Jets back the other way. Connor across the line for the Jets. Gets it onto the tape of Scheifele. The Jets have already scored a goal with those two being a factor on it. Here's now Pionk near side dot. Back loading Connor. Sifting through Draisaitl. Looking into the corner. Now pivoting. Back to the blue line for Pionk. Pionk keeps it onside. Barely the shot through traffic. Bounces in front. Blocked there by Bouchard and Connor. And now this will be picked up by Connor as the Oilers lead out to center. And Draisaitl just could not drift it to Connor McDavid. Instead, McDavid, though, on a mistake by Pionk, gets Kulak loaded up. Kulak, the shot, blocked in front by Milic, who, of course, was denying the bid of Kulak's first goal in a little while, it feels like at this point. There's 45 seconds to go in this 4-on-4. Morrissey picking it up. He'll get it going. Kulak had a heck of a year last year, kind of struggling offensively this year. 8 minutes to go in this third period, and I would say at this point, it's all but a formality that it is curtains for the Winnipeg Jets, as this is Nurse across battling the blue line there for the Oilers. A double tap there by the Jets, a shot denied by Skinner, who now has 15 saves on 16 shots. Stuart Skinner, a bright spot for the Oilers this evening, the way it's going, as Hyman will lead out for Nurse. Nurse across the line will load into the corner, up over top of Milic off the glass. This one getting back towards the back of the net for the Jets. Jets take over. It's DeMello. Janmark. He's going to come over near side for Barron. This one near side across the line. The shot from the Jets wildly wide. 7:04 to go. The pace has just absolutely died after that first period. I guess that's the shock after you score 4 goals in the first, and there's only been 2 in the last 34 minutes, or sorry, 34 minutes since. Though the Jets are trying real hard to score goals here, Bouchard and Ekholm are going to chest up Barron and crew. 6:49 to go in this third period to play. 25 shots on net for the Oilers. The Jets, though, coming hard over the past little bit, now up to 17 or 18, and love to see it right there, as it's been a good hockey game thus far for the Edmonton Oilers, and the more they do the rest of the way, the better off we'll be. As McDavid, what a play there to get it over to Kulak, and then Kulak, the one-timer, just blockered away by Milic. A solid effort from Milic to stop that puck. And then Skinner, the big save, and the double tap there ends up just rolling to him to be able to make the save. So here we go. Battle in front of the dot is lifted out by the Oilers. Back the other way. 6:43. Morrissey catches it right before it's an icing call. Tomaszek trying to create the turnover. Here's Frederick. He just can't pivot his man, and now Frederick's going to get the turnover right in front. Tomaszek scores! The Edmonton Oilers' fourth line factors in on a goal, and you have points out of everybody's line in this Oilers lineup tonight. Frederick, Lazar, and Tomaszek answer a goal here. It looks like Frederick's only going to get the assist, but all 3 lines get a point scorer tonight, as Tomaszek gets the goal there. As Frederick, what an effort for the Oilers. I guess it's Frederick only. And how good is that to see Trent Frederick get a point, winning a battle for the Edmonton Oilers? Nemeshnikov against Lazar, and Frederick turns it back and gets Tomaszek, who's a great goal scorer in his own right, to the back of the net. And look at how happy that man is to score for the Oilers. He loves being an Edmonton Oiler. That's why he decided to come third goal this season for David Tomaszek and the Edmonton Oilers. Trent Frederick picks up another assist. You'll love to see it. So this one goes back into the Jets zone. 6-1 for the Oilers. Exactly what we needed. Curtains for the Winnipeg Jets. The Oilers, Art, I am agreeing with you. Definitely a different club the last 2, 3, 4 games now. And you figure out here in the last, just about 4 games, the Oilers have given up 2 goals. 2 goals from Stuart Skinner and 4 from Pickard. So 6 over the last 4. Goal and a half per game. Not bad for the Oilers as they keep this going. So we'll see what happens here. Is this battling off the wall? Nancy, Team Canada's Olympic roster, we'll be talking about that here soon. I feel like they promised it by the end of the month. Is this going to be the Oilers' fourth line again coming up the ice? Frederick's going to shoot it in. Milic is going to come out to play this. He's going to double think it for a sec and then eventually make a sturdy, safe play as the Oilers will roll the second line. Expect the Frederick, Tomashik, and Lazar line to end this hockey game, as the Oilers have been absolutely lightning in the bottom six tonight for some reason. Even though they're not playing a ton of minutes, still to see them scoring goals and putting up points is absolutely awesome. Here's Draisaitl trying to bust in. Savoy from a sharp angle will fire it in behind the net. He turns it right onto the stick of Samberg. 5:32 to go in this second period, or third period to play, sorry. Jets across the line, an nifty play by Velarde to get it onside, trying to force it back to the middle. That's not been a good play for the Jets this game so far. The middle has not been open. Pionk fakes the slapper, then throws it through traffic off a body. 5:13 to go. Turned aside, Velarde by Stu Skinner. What a shot there. So here we go. Let's see what Draisaitl can do. He gets it up to Savoy. Regula now with the puck on a long shift will flip it into Jets territory. And then Samberg shot to the head. Stanley a shot to the head of Regula. And it doesn't look like Stanley is going to get called for that. I wonder if somebody for the Oilers goes running after Stanley before the game's over. That man's a giant, though. You kind of almost have to let him take the liberties, as this one's going to be played towards the net. Knocked down in the crease. Wraparound effort for the Jets, and they score. I don't think anybody for the Oilers knew where that puck was. The only player for the Jets knew where it was. 6-2. Similar fashion, that last second scramble ends up in the back of the net. 4:35 to go in the third period to play. The Jets cut the lead 6-2. Tough. You really hate to see that. And of course, Stu Skinner's been having a great night, and he's going to finish just with a rough, just about 900 save percentage. But that wraparound, the puck bounced a couple of times there, and Stu outstretched one way to prevent the goal and then couldn't stretch around the other way. And I think it goes off of Ekholm's blade off of Stu back of the net. So, tough. But 4:35 to go. Stu needs 2 more shots against for 900 save percentage, but even at this rate, he's keeping the save percentage steady and also only giving up 2 goals. So over the last 3 games to give up 3 goals, yeah, that's okay out of Stu. We'll take it. We'll take it. That save percentage at some point will never come out positive, I don't think. But hey, goals against is fine. As this one's going to come back into the zone, saved by Milic on the dump in. 4:20, nice to go here in this one for the Winnipeg Jets as Bouchard picks it up inside his own zone. As McDavid across the line, he'll leave it there for Nugent Hopkins. Dipsy doodle there to get through a Jets defender and push it back to Bouchard. Now down low to McDavid. McDavid looking, trying to get in front. The pass over to Nugent Hopkins. And McDavid's been a little bit more selective again tonight. Maybe not the best approach, but again, when you're up 6-2, I think McDavid loves to defer to his teammates to just try and get those guys going. McDavid's going to score plenty of goals in his career, and he's never going to catch Ovechkin, so he's good with that. As this one's picked up by, how weird is that to say, picked up by the Jets inside the Oilers territory, back to the blue line. It comes far side, near side for Stanley. Shot towards the net, saved by Skinner, and it's a scramble as Skinner goes full pad stack, and that should be the 20th shot of the game there for Skinner. It's going to be picked up now by the Jets again. The shot over now for the near side support, Perfetti. He's content to have to fire it back down to Milic. 3:13 to go here in this third period to play. Kopke? I don't know how to say that name for the Winnipeg Jets. Pearson and Pionk nonetheless get the assist. This is going to be picked up by Tomasek, and he's going to come in a hurry into the Jets zone. Backhand flip. Lazar one-times that puck on edge. And if that got on net, I'm pretty sure that's going in. But a nice little play again by this Oilers fourth line, which all of a sudden is finding a little bit of chemistry after Tomashik comes into the lineup in place of the injured or resting Connor Clattenburg. Clatty kind of took a stick right up here, so he's going to be careful. As this is going to go behind the net, over to the far side, behind the net, now near side, behind the net, and now Kulak's looking to bounce this off the boards, and Tomashik will just bounce it in. How many different ways I'd say Tomashik? I don't know. One day I'll get it beat into the head. 2:20 to go here in the third period to play. It's been a good hockey game. 6 more goals for the Oilers, 15 in 2 games. How about that? as this one's across the line, touched off the stick and bounced back into the neutral zone by Draisaitl and company. As Podkolzin in support, as the Oilers' second line, what they do is just attack in waves, 3 layers to that line. I love it. As Velarde's taken out by the Oilers again, the middle of the ice, a premium area inside the Oilers' defensive zone tonight. Great job of protecting the house and protecting Stu. Here's Nurse, the one-timer on a loose puck, high slot. Couldn't get it past Milic, and now Nurse will try and gun it down off a stick of Savoy deep into the zone. Stanley under pressure. We'll see it flipped out to Nurse. Tapped back by the Jets, 3-on-2, 2-on-2. Man trailing, turned aside by Skinner. There's the save that puts them over 900 for the night. You love to see it. As with $1:27 to go, the Oilers, Podkolzin will be content to flip near side corner, and here come the Oilers' third line to possibly close out this hockey game. Yeah, I imagine Lazar and company will get one more crack at it here, as this should be a chance for Emerson to clear the zone. Instead, he stumbles and turns it over. Janmark, though, in good support to get the job going, and here's now Henrique looking. He thought he had the home run pass to Mangiapane until he realized he had 2 defenders on Mangiapane, and then Magpie there turns it over, and here comes Pearson the other way for the Jets. Barron, who's been all over the place a little bit tonight. 50 seconds to go. Turnover onto the stick of Bouchard. And oh boy, count it down. 45 seconds to go as the Oilers are going to walk home a 6-0 victory here. Can't say that because obviously we know what happened against the Seattle Kraken last time when we thought it was going to be a 9-3 final. Tomashik on the ice, and the fourth line will close out the hockey game for the Edmonton Oilers. Here's Tomashik speeding up in a hurry. Tomashik looking for his second goal of the game. Fires it on Milic. It's blocked by somebody or else Milic. And this is going to be gunned up by the Jets back the other way. Flipped towards Skinner. It's going to go off the end wall, and you, friends, can play La Bamba 10 seconds early. The Oilers are going to win this one, and all the Jets have left to do is run around and throw the body as 2 seconds to go, and the Jets are going to get in a hurry. We're going to have a dust-up just outside of the Oilers' blue line. Tomashik getting mugged there by Stanley as he's battling, Perfetti, and now things are boiling over as here's Tomashik with his helmet off. Frederick trying to cool down Tomashik, who's got the wild hair out there, by the way. The final is 6-2 for the Oilers. They don't want to have anything crazy happen at the end of this hockey game. Keep the lineup rolling. 28-21, the shots on goal. Stuart Skinner, a huge effort for the Oilers. Yes, I know we would have liked to have that second goal back, but the Edmonton Oilers play La Bamba and take home a massive victory here on a Saturday night against the Winnipeg Jets. What a night of hockey it was. And the Oilers continue to ride hot now. In the last 4 games, counted 19 goals for and a total of 7 against. Don't mind that at all as the Oilers keep it going. So, friends, for right now, I think that will mean we flip over to the post-game edition here on the channel. Stay tuned. It'll be a live post-game tonight, presented as a video. Let's do it, shall we? This is Dolynny TV, friends. You can play La Bamba tonight. The Edmonton Oilers take home a massive 6-2 victory in those cream jerseys behind me as... oh boy, what didn't go right for the Oilers tonight? Stuart Skinner, a heck of a goaltending performance this evening. And obviously another big goal offensive output that puts the Oilers up the standings some more. The big thing was leapfrogging Seattle. Tonight was staying ahead of Seattle. And that is exactly what the Oilers have done. Vancouver leading Minnesota 4-1. That's a massive result there as well, as they have 8:45 to go in this third period of time. Third period play as we wrap up this Oilers game. And what I'll say, friends, if you're new to the channel, consider hitting that subscribe button here on Dolynny TV as we get ready to cover this one as it wraps up for the Edmonton Oilers tonight. I said it after the Seattle game, whatever went wrong against Seattle, the same as whatever went wrong against Winnipeg tonight. It's all good. It's all forgiven. Simply the Oilers' offense is well and alive. They come up with back-to-back efforts. I know I was hearing, well, the Oilers really aren't that great of a team this year, right? They're not great. The Seattle Kraken aren't a great team, so why are we so excited about the Oilers scoring 9 goals? Well, the Oilers against a Winnipeg Jets team, which was really good last year, has the same cast of characters they always do, and was, half decent so far this year, show up and score 6 goals, and we will take that all day. Massive result for the Oilers, It's a thing who didn't score for the Oilers tonight, I think, right? You see all three lines kind of factoring in. I mean, yeah, okay, I guess at the end of the day it was kind of tough because the third line only factored in an assist, but you go through the goal scoring tonight. Ryan Nugent-Hopkins, 7th from McDavid and Hyman. Hyman, by the way, if you're watching this game tonight or you didn't watch it, he fought it all night. It was kind of rough watching Hyman most of this evening. I think it's going to take him some time yet to get up to speed. I think by the time we get past Christmas, he has a few days off at Christmas, I think Hyman will be back up to full speed, but it's just tough. Hyman's still a far distance away from full speed at the NHL level this year, and the better he gets as the season goes on, the better it's going to get for the Edmonton Oilers. Draisaitl 17th from Evan Bouchard. Bouchard again had a great night tonight, just kind of helping out offensively in the first period. Had a tough go on the first goal against for the Oilers, but we'll take it as it comes. And Matt Savoy, don't let the kid get hot. I was saying that during the game against Seattle. Everybody in Oilers fandom was echoing that the next day. Guess what? He scores his 6th from Matthias Ekholm and Vasily Podkolzin, and that second line is absolutely beautifying the Oilers right now, I'll tell you that. And then, of course, Evan Bouchard, as I mentioned, scored a goal tonight from Leon Draisaitl and Connor McDavid on the power play. A good effort there to get the job done. And then Curtis Lazar from Matthias Janmark and Ty Emberson put us up 5-0. And at that point, we knew the Edmonton Oilers had won the hockey game, or at least that's how it seemed. The job was done, and the Oilers just had to coast in, and that's basically what they did. No goal scoring in that next period of hockey. But then Gabe Vilardi makes it 5-1, and suddenly we're thinking, oh boy, the Oilers might be in a little bit of trouble here if the Jets keep coming. And I said, as long as the Oilers get past the 10-minute mark of the third period, the job will be done. 5-1, whatever it ends up, the Oilers are going to win this hockey game. David Tomashik, again, a big effort from the fourth line tonight. Trent Frederick was looking good, and obviously Curtis Lazar scoring. All three of the fourth line scored a point tonight. Trent Frederick gets the assist on the Tomashik goal. And then, if you weren't paying attention, kind of at the end of that hockey game, last 5 minutes, Cole Koepke finds a bouncing puck that ended up in the air. He wraps it around, scores a goal off the blade of Ekholm and Skinner. So, you know what? End of the day, Stuart Skinner finishes with 2 goals against on 21 shots. So, a save percentage that ends up getting Skinner to 2 games above 500 this year. The Oilers, really a good night. Again, if you're looking at ice time, Bush played 20-51. Just kind of, I think he missed a shift or two after a tough couple of plays with Kyle Connor, but nobody really for the Oilers played a ton. Alec Regula and Darnell Nurse got the bulk of the time tonight, 21 minutes each, and Stu Skinner with a .905 save percentage for the Oilers. Bouchard, the first star of the game. Despite all that tonight, Draisaitl the second, and Curtis Lazar the third. So you love to see the Oilers fourth line coming up with some efforts tonight. Hopefully everything goes according to plan, and now you just keep building from here. And the Oilers, you know what? 2 out of 3 against the Kraken, losing the one against the Wild. The results are kind of skewed because it's the Kraken. Fair enough, I can get down with that. Now you've won against the Jets. You've scored in all your victories 4+ goals. In the time that you've won these 3 out of 4 games, which again, December 9th is 30-game mark. That's a big, important date for the Oilers apparently. You've now scored a total of 19 goals in 4 games. The Oilers offense well and alive. The goals against comes down a little bit tonight, right? 3.51 or whatever it was, probably down below 3.5. So that's a huge mark stone for the Oilers. And yeah, now it's good to go. So we'll see what happens here. See if you caught what I did there. I really don't think there's much else to not much else to say here for the Oilers this evening. As it's been a great night of hockey, and showing up on a Saturday after really showing up for the past 4 games is huge. I know I was hard on the Oilers following the loss against Minnesota, but it's truly, this team, what they've done in the last 3 wins shows what should have happened in Minnesota. Wallstedt getting the victory in the shutout is a big frustration point as an Edmonton Oilers fan. Emberson, I think as well, Epiphany's mentioning in live chat as I record this right now, had a point tonight. I think the Oilers just really a good night of hockey, and end of the day, if you're talking about finally turning a corner, I think After a rough 3 games prior to this 4-game stretch, the Oilers have turned a corner. The hard test is when they get back out on the road here, they have to make sure that counts for something. But for right now, you're looking at this and saying, man, the Oilers might be back after the Kraken game. I think the Oilers are back, at least for the time being, here after this game against the Winnipeg Jets tonight. I mean, tough go for Eric Comrie and Tomas Milic, because end of the day is you don't have Connor Hellebuck, and that's, again, a game changer here for the Oilers against any team the Winnipeg Jets are going to ice. And the Jets were on the back half of a back-to-back, so I'm sure plenty of people will find a way to say, well, that means this game doesn't count because the Jets were tired, and they'll make any excuse for the Oilers not to be as good as they have been over the past 4 games. But I think tonight, the end of the night message here on the Nightcap on Dolynny TV, friends, is just enjoy tonight's victory. Enjoy the fact that the Oilers are scoring a ton of goals. They've stopped giving up a ton of goals over the last 4 games. And 4 games over, 29 games isn't a massive chunk of games, but it's still a sizable amount. So make sure you enjoy the heck out of it tonight. Play La Bamba on the speakers at home. If you do partake in the drinking, have a drink for me. And if not, have a toke or just go to bed and enjoy with a smile on your face. Friends, thanks for being aboard this evening. We'll catch you next time out. Continue on the stream here in a minute. It's been Dolynny TV on the Nightcap. The Oilers win 6-2 over the Jets. I'm up on out of here. And that'll do it here on the live stream edition, friends. Thank you so much for being aboard here on the post game here on Dolynny TV. It's been a fantastic night. Thank you again to Art and Thunders for the super chat donations here on the live stream. It's been fantastic to be back here on the streams this evening and this week. I will tell you, the World Juniors are coming up soon, hence why we're live streaming again in force here on the channel. And as we close things out here tonight, I want to say this was a better live stream than the game against the Kraken. We scored 3 less goals, and it was a better live stream here on the channel. So appreciate y'all hanging out with me. And for that, we'll close up tonight. Again, everybody who's been along for the ride here this evening, thank you so much. As we said, we were aiming for 100 likes on the stream. It was looking like we were going to get there. We settled at 45. That's okay. We'll do it next time out. For me, for everybody